Get nasty on a Tuesday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 202. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler.
How the hell do you get a Friday mixed up with a Monday? I mean,
yeah, that was
maybe
weird.
get
It's me.
Monday mixed up with a Friday. I don't know. I don't think you should. No. It's Friday. It's the last day, not the first day.
I think that I had it in my head that we're off on Memorial Day, which is Monday. I was thinking that. Then I said Monday. I don't know.
Okay.
To hell with it. It's gone. Welcome to the Fast
Good
Lane.
job.
And by that, I mean my brain. It's gone.
Yeah, you're good.
I don't think I ever had it. Cardinals Memorial Day weekend exit survey. Pretty good weekend. Swept the Diamondbacks. Won great yesterday in Baltimore, but
Don't talk about that one.
we won't talk about it. So if we're going to do the Cardinals Memorial Day weekend exit survey, Carey Davis.
Yeah.
Biggest storyline for you.
I mean, the way that they're playing is delightful. Like I was at the game on Saturday. They won 6-5. It's a good time. It's fun. It's fun to watch. I guess my biggest takeaway is, like I said, I've said this before, like, I believe in this team. I believe that they will win. I believe that they will win. I believe that we will win.
Carey, how was your game day experience, though? That's what I really want to know.
Well, actually, it was pretty cool. I got my son went with me, and he got a Mason Wynn bobblehead. It's outstanding. I was a little thrown off by the bobblehead, though. I was expecting, the fielding version of Mason Wynn. It was a batter. I don't know if that matters, but I think of him as a fielder, shortstop first and foremost. I didn't really worry about his batting prowess, but yeah, that was cool. Game day experience was awesome.
Did the head bobble properly?
Yeah, bobbled properly. I got to hang out with my guy Clave. Saw him in
there
the
you
booth.
go.
Saw BT and.
But you're up in the
Chip Taylor.
booth?
Yeah, man.
Jeez, they let you anywhere.
You went to the booth?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know some people that know some people.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
So, went to see some people. Say hello.
Well, good.
And it was a good experience. The game day experience was awesome. The fans were engaged. The Cardinals were down a couple of times in that game, tied the game up, were able to come back. Jordan Walker had a really good day. This was Saturday. So, yeah, the weekend for me was good. Yesterday, could have been better. But
We're not talking about yesterday.
okay, but 3 out of 4, you sweep the Diamondbacks. It was good.
Yeah.
All right, Jamie, your biggest storyline
For
from the
me,
weekend.
For the weekend, Jordan Walker. Hitting the ball again. Getting on base. He's making a difference. I mean, we're going to, get after the guy when he's not batting well. And Marshy likes to bench him every time he gets a base hit.
He does, actually.
But, Jordan Walker, for me, had a really, really good offensive weekend. I'm not sitting here like, super excited, but I'm very happy with what I saw out of him. So for me, that was a takeaway.
Marsh?
For me, it was the comebacks throughout the weekend. And that plays into Jordan Walker, too. Like, it is a fun time to watch Cardinals baseball. I was talking with my buddy yesterday, and I'm like, the worst time for baseball season, at least in the past 2 years, is when the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs end and the NBA Finals end, and that stretch of time until the NFL starts up. Because that has been horrible. Mm-hmm. I don't feel that way anymore because this team has been playing really well, and I'm hoping that continues to progress throughout the summer so the summer can be fun. And weekends like what we just saw will make that fun. And Arizona's a good team. The Cardinals have been beating good teams. And I expect them to take the next 2 games against the Orioles. I really do.
So my biggest storyline was kind of the late inning drama over the weekend against Arizona. It wasn't just the game that Carey was talking about on Saturday, although Alec Burleson and Jordan Walker delivered the timely hits in that one, delivering that victory that really it seemed like that was going to get away from them after the ball dropped in the Bermuda Triangle of Donovan, Scott, and Walker. That was tough. But they showed some resiliency in coming back in that one. But Nolan Arenado had the bases clearing triple in the 6th inning to help the Cardinals win on Friday night. Can't forget about that. Almost a remarkable play by Arizona's center fielder, but he had the ball come out. But that really kicked things off. Then you had the Walker and Burleson hits. And then in the series finale, Alec Burleson and Jordan Walker again contributed big-time hits in the 7th inning, leading to that 4-3 victory. So I think the storyline for me, yesterday stunk, but you're going to have those games. But over the weekend, it was that late-inning drama. This team continues to make me believe that they're not out of any game. All right, biggest kudos, Jamie.
For me, Matthew Liberatore. I mean, maybe I'm wrong for thinking this way, but I keep thinking and wondering when the bubble's going to burst. And I think I said this maybe even a week ago. So I'm like week to week on Matthew Liberatore, which is pretty much start to start.
Are you there? Are you there now still?
I don't know.
I'm gonna check back on you on this.
Yeah, I think I'm still. I think I'm still in the cautious stage right now, and I know he's pitched great all season. I'd be an idiot to still be thinking that it could go sideways.
That's not why
you're not an idiot.
That's not
no.
why.
Whoa.
We consider you. I'm sorry,
Carey. You're not an idiot.
No, I said that's not why we wouldn't consider you an idiet for that.
Carey, I think what you meant was
consider me an idiot.
You're
for?
not an idiot.
Never. How long you got?
All right, so Matthew Liberatore. Anyways, Carey off a 4-day weekend.
It's feeling good.
Yeah, he's feeling pretty spicy over there. That's what the kids say, right, Marsh?
Yes.
All right, good. Yeah. No, Matthew Liberatore is my guy this year. Where it's just question marks for me. He's my San Francisco 49ers. From the year they went to the Super Bowl, where I called them smoke and mirrors all year.
Gary, did you know that?
No.
The year that they went.
Oh, yes,
the year that they went to and played Kansas City the first time.
Yeah.
Every week, smoke and mirrors.
I don't remember
what happened.
He waits until they had the fourth quarter collapse in the Super Bowl to say, "I told you."
Just had to get the right matchup.
This might be my 49ers moment with Liberatore.
Let's hope not.
My biggest kudos is Jordan Walker. He's batting .333 over the last 7 games, and that's going 0 for 4 yesterday. Prior to that, he was above. I think he was above 400 in the last 7 games before yesterday. Mm-hmm. He's been playing really well. And the critical moments, like you said, Jamie, he had that double that he smoked one and got the lead, and then took the lead again with a single later on in that game. It's fun to watch. You're starting to see the maturation. Yesterday, he struck out 3 times. You're going to have those ebbs and flows, but I think he's starting to figure out some things offensively. The defense has been really good, so my kudos is to Jordan.
Same with me with Jordan Walker. Yesterday did stink. I mean, he even chased.
Yeah,
he even chased.
And he hadn't been chasing that.
I know.
Like that's the part. He has been, for me, watching his plate appearances. He hasn't been striking out on that slider away. But yesterday, he chased one, and it is like, it's like it's something about it. Just he wants to swing at that pitch so bad.
He's a little excited. Yeah,
he is. So yesterday was bad, but. You know, the games prior to that, he's been really, really good.
He helped you win 2 games over the weekend. There's no doubt about it. That was he was my biggest kudos as well. Marsh?
You mentioned Jordan Walker. He was great. Nolan Arenado, you mentioned it earlier, him getting that huge hit. Mm-hmm. Not only did he get that huge hit, but he made a crucial play in that Sunday game in foul territory. His defense continues to be excellent.
Yep.
And that is a good reason to keep this guy on the team, because I believe now that the identity of this ball club, now they can hit the crap out of the ball. They can score runs, but their defense, when it is on point, they're hard to beat, and he is leading that pack. He's been incredible. So I'm going to give Arenado the kudos there, and he's a hockey player, Anthony. Stayed in that game, got banged up, he's down on the ground, stayed in that game. That's a hockey player right there.
There you go. And as we know,
impressive.
Hockey players are the toughest.
Oh, wow.
They are.
Wow.
Our biggest criticism.
I don't know why you said that.
Biggest criticism, because they are. Biggest criticism
It happened.
yesterday, sloppy.
Wow.
It was sloppy.
That and Eric Fetty.
Not great.
He's starting to trend in the wrong direction. For
scaring
me.
you a little bit?
Yeah, a lot actually.
When you walk a bunch of hitters, and boy, he's walking a lot of hitters, and you also don't have strikeout stuff, so i.e. the ball is being put in play a lot, that ain't good.
I know.
So no, he don't look great.
He was my biggest concern.
Yeah.
That wasn't great. I texted you all this over the weekend. I said Kyle Leahy feels like he might be his one appearance. He gave up 3 hits. He only pitched a third of an inning. I think I texted you all. He's might be falling out of the circle of trust. Didn't like his performance. It wasn't. It was like it looked like batting practice a little bit. It wasn't good.
It's not
now
good.
there's one.
Looked like the Cardinals pitchers in Boston earlier this year, huh?
Look,
All right.
didn't look good. Now that's one performance. He's been good. But if I'm going to give a criticism for the week, and they won that game, that was the Saturday game. But yeah, that was rough.
Marsh?
I think it's Eric Fetty. Now, does that game look different if Nolan Gorman doesn't throw the ball into the outfield and they don't score in that first inning? I don't know. But, yeah, Eric Fetty, his last couple of starts, after looking like a Cy Young candidate, right? He had the complete game in Washington. These past few outings have not been that good. I think he'll turn things around, but for me, it's him.
Yeah, fair. Former Cardinals also had big weekends. Randall Grichuk touched some seats. Dylan Carlson. Boy, that was his World Series, huh? Yesterday? Boy,
Yes, it was.
Hit a wall scraper and running around the bases like a maniac.
Probably felt good.
Oh, I'm sure it did. Cardinals Orioles continue their series tonight, 5:35. It'll be Andre Palante versus Baltimore's Tomoaki Sagano. So Sagano versus
Easy for you to
Palante.
say.
Yeah. There you have it. We'll play the lineup game as soon as the lineup is out. It's the Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Expectations, Cardinals versus the BFIB. Carey had some thoughts on Saturday's game. He was in attendance. He didn't have an opportunity to react to Katie Woo's article at The Athletic that we all discussed on Friday about the fan experience. Well, he was one of the fans in attendance on Saturday. He's got some thoughts on that. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Sports betting at its finest right over there at Circus Sports Illinois, the app. We talked with Derek Stevens on Friday, and lots of great things going on at Circus Sports in Las Vegas. Got a great new gimmick coming up here, competition with the NFL right around the corner. Make sure you check out the website, learn all about that. And you're always going to get the best odds over there at Circus Sports Illinois. You can download other apps, take a look at their odds. And Circus Sports just has better odds overall, which means bigger payouts for you. It's a bit of that old school Vegas model. It's sports betting the way it should be, and that's because Derek loves keeping it old school there at Circus Sports. So please get over there to the website or find it on the App Store. Download the app, enjoy it, have a great time. Don't forget to get in there on all the action. NHL, MLB, NBA, all that stuff is right there available at Circus Sports Illinois. So please download the app and join in on all the excitement. If you or someone you know may have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
It's Fascinating 101 ESPN. So, Carey, I know you were at the game on Saturday, and you also were listening to, at one point, us discuss Katie Woo's article on Friday about the fan engagement at Busch Stadium and how the Cardinals are more aware that, hey, fans are going to start maybe trickling in a little bit more with the team playing well. And here's some things that they're thinking about doing. Now, again, you were at the game, and I think you highlighted one key point to all that as to why maybe you had fun.
Yeah, they were winning. They won.
Yeah, they won.
Yeah, I think, I understand the notion of, we're going to do $5 Fridays, $5 beers or margaritas, or we're going to, do more giveaways and things of that nature. And I think that will bring the casual fan out one or two times, right? But your goal is to bring the fans out that want to see baseball. And those fans, it's nice to get a Mason Wynn bobblehead. My son loved it, right? My son don't buy tickets, though. He ain't bought a ticket yet. He's never bought a ticket.
Sure.
He has no control.
Did you buy those tickets?
Yeah, I bought them.
Carey.
I did.
Carey.
I bought my tickets.
You're the guy that just told me you know some people.
I actually bought my ticket to get into the stadium. Mm-hmm. And then I got people that get me other places inside the stadium.
Sounds a little fishy.
Yeah, but I did buy my ticket.
Carey, I believe
tickets. And
he doesn't want that bobblehead taken away from him.
No, I didn't. I got two of them. I got one for me, one for him.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. My son put it on my dresser the other day. Hey, here's your bobblehead, Dad.
There you go, Dad.
I'm like, okay, cool. But so for me, the thing that is going to engage your fan base is what you're doing now. It's being competitive. It's winning games. It's having an opportunity to always be in a game. I was listening. I think it was BT was talking about. He's talking to Alec Burleson, and he said, "Yeah, we've been down in games, and we're not down. Like we don't feel like we're out of it because we've been down and we've come back." So the thing that is going to engage your fan base is not bobbleheads. It's not $5 beers because I still got to pay for parking. I still got to drive all the way down here to whether I'm, out in St. Charles County or wherever I'm coming from. I still got to pay for parking. I got to pay for my ticket. The $5 beer don't include the food that my kids are going to want to eat if they're there and we haven't eaten. The thing that's going to bring fans is winning games, and that's the thing that, in my opinion, is more important than all of the other outside factors that you can try to bring into it. Now, it helps, but again, that's for the casual fan. Oh, man, you can get tickets to a concert. Okay, cool. But I can pay $5 at a bar and get a beer if that's what, and watch the game on TV and not have to pay $40 for parking and not have to pay $50 for a ticket a piece or whatever your price is. So the winning is what's going to get people to show up, in my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree. I've never spoken to somebody that's like, you gotta go down to Busch Stadium. You gotta check out the bobbleheads that they're giving away. You gotta check out the giveaways.
Nah,
I'm never there early enough to get the giveaway.
You should leave earlier.
He got kids,
man. You know how it is.
You trying to wrestle them up and get
what
them.
do I know about having kids,
No,
Carey?
I'm saying but your kids are older now.
You don't think I went
when they
through
were
it?
younger,
You know what? I
how
had
hard
Girl
was
Scout
it?
nights where everybody had to go.
You had to be down there and they were walking around the track.
Yep.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah, Carey.
Good times.
That was last week.
See, you get it.
It's winning. It's winning. And you know what? This applies to TV, too. It's not just the ticket sales going through the turnstiles at Busch Stadium. Do you have a good TV product? The only reason you have a good TV product is if you have a winner. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's going to take some time. That was the only thing I fought back on early on. Hey, they swept the Twins, right? Where are you people? They've been watching over the last couple of years, and they have slowly stopped going. One series against the Twins to open up the year is not going to change the minds. It's a hell of a series, no doubt. Peaked interest. All fell apart pretty quick after that.
Did it? Really?
Yeah, no, it didn't. It's going to take a little bit of time, but you saw it. I mean, Carey. So I was at the Friday night game that Liberatore pitched against the Brewers a couple of weeks ago. Not a great crowd. Mm-hmm. The crowd that was there was into it, but not a great crowd. I'm assuming the Saturday afternoon game.
It was a pretty decent crowd.
It looked like it was a decent crowd.
It wasn't packed, but it's way more than what we've seen on TV over the past couple of weeks. But
so 2 weeks later, more winning, more people.
The progression, and that's the thing that ties it all together. If you're a competitive team, a team that has a chance to win, you can be down in games, and guys can, like when Jordan Walker hit that double, the crowd went crazy, right? When they were doing the things that we are accustomed to seeing Cardinals do, the Cardinal players do, the fans were excited.
Right.
but it wasn't. They weren't excited because they came in and got a bobblehead and got $5 beers. They want to see winning. So for me, if you want fans to continue to show up, all the other processes are important, but the most important process is winning games.
Winning's always the main thing.
That's all people care about.
It just is.
Yeah.
We talked about it last week. I forget if you were here or not. Carey, I can't remember. We talked Friday.
No, it was just Friday.
Friday. And I just said, I've never once gone to a game worried about what music they play, what band might play after, what bobblehead's available.
Will there be fireworks?
I didn't even know there was a bobblehead. Yeah. We just happened to. But cool.
But I've never gone there for that.
Sweet.
Right.
So maybe I'm the oddball, but I've never gone there for that. I've gone there to watch good baseball, and at the time, like star players. I didn't go. I went once last year. Tells you anything? It wasn't really interesting at all. I plan on going coming up soon, a couple weeks from now, because the Cardinals are an exciting product now. Now I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm really looking forward to watching these guys play.
Yeah.
But winning brings everybody back to the ballpark.
Yeah. Even when I was a kid, too, when I wanted to see certain games, I always kind of honed in on who the pitcher was. Like, what day? I'm going Saturday. Who's going to be the starting pitcher? I think that'll help, too, eventually. Now, the starting pitching staff has been really good this year, but I'm talking about young, homegrown talent. I mean, it wasn't that long ago where it's like, Wayno's pitching today, or Chris Carpenter's pitching today. And they wound up being exciting because you knew you were going to see perhaps the Cardinals' best pitcher, but it all comes back to winning. Now, they do have series in June coming up against the Royals, Dodgers, and Cubs. I think that'll help as well. I do think the opponent matters depending on who the opponent is.
Well, that'll certainly fill the building.
Shohei's coming to town. The Royals are a nice draw, and the Cubs are the Cubs. So you will get a bump, I think, in June for those series. But it's a little bit different than when did Shohei came in last year too.
Yes.
Like you had the Shohei crowd that said, I got to see Shohei Ohtani, and that goes to your star factor. Now I think it's going to be different. I think there's going to be a combination of, I want to see Shohei play. I also want to see him lose. Yeah. Because you're starting to get that spike again.
Exactly.
Yep. And then I think from the Cardinals standpoint, I think they need to show patience. I think this is the time now they need to show patience.
In
realizing
terms of
the fans will come back out, but you have to be consistent.
Yes.
They were consistent in May. If it all falls apart in June,
doesn't matter.
People won't check out again.
I think that's the other part that kind of led me to this mindset is you can't expect people to just show up just because it's good now, but your track record over the past couple of years hasn't been good.
Right. And
you don't want people to feel like they're being misled. Like you want to keep showing up, keep performing at a high level. I think the team is really good. I think they've done a fantastic job. I think they found ways to win. They're competitive. The players that we didn't have as much high expectations for, the Victor Scotts, we didn't really know what to expect of Mason Wynn after his struggles in spring training. We didn't have any clue. Alec Burleson what is he going to be? Is he even going to play every day? Ivan Herrera has been outstanding when he's healthy and playing. So the players that are there, you're kind of like, oh, okay, I can get behind this team. But you have to keep winning. If you get frustrated and like, they're not showing up, they don't have to. You have to earn the right for people to spend their hard-earned money for them to come watch your team play. Yep. And the past couple of years, you hadn't done that. Now you're starting to do it. Keep doing it, and Absolutely. They will show up.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. The Dotem Golf Tournament with the morning after is this Thursday and Friday, presented by Michelob Ultra and Oak Valley Golf Course and Resort. Friday's foursomes are already sold out, but there are still a few remaining spots open for this Thursday. You get your foursome together for a full day on the course with TMA. That includes complimentary breakfast from Donut Drive-In, lunch from Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, all your Michelob Ultra, the 100 West Dental closest to the pin competition, a long drive competition courtesy of Pondoff's Anonymous Recovery Podcast, and after parties with food from Texas Roadhouse on Thursday and Super Smokers Barbecue on Friday. A portion of the proceeds will support the St. Louis Hero Network in honor of Brian McKenna. Find all the Dotem info now at 101ESPN.com. Could the Blues shop in Buffalo again? Last time they did that, worked out pretty well for the Blues. Is there another player that piques Jamie's interest? No? Maybe? He'll tell you next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals sweep the Diamondbacks this weekend and then fall to the Orioles yesterday. They'll take on the Orioles once again in Baltimore. On the mound tonight for the Cardinals is Andre Palante going up against Tomoyuki Sugano. First pitch tonight is at 5:35. If you miss anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our shows there. That's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Could the Blues shop in Buffalo once again? We'll talk about that next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Blues shop in Buffalo again. Last time it worked out pretty well. They got a fellow named Ryan O'Reilly in a deal. Eventually won a Stanley Cup. There is a proposed trade, and these are always fun to crap on. The case for the Blues to make a big blue line bet, and this is from SportsHubSTL.com. The proposed trade, Jamie, would be the Blues receiving Bowen Byram, who is a restricted free agent. He's got 1 year remaining, but 2 years until he hits unrestricted free agency. To Buffalo, Justin Falk, a 2025 first-round pick, which is the 19th overall pick, and a pair of prospects. Also mentions that Kessel could be intriguing for the Sabres as well. Are you interested? Does this make any sense at all for the Blues, or is this a total dud?
Well, it's not a total dud. I personally am not all that interested in Bowen Byram. A good young defenseman, 38 points in 82 games, plus 11 on a terrible Buffalo Sabres team. He's a big guy, skates pretty well, but he's a left-handed shot. And I know he's played a lot of right side defense over the last couple of years, but it's not his natural spot. Mm-hmm. And so you look at your left side right now. You got Fowler, Broberg, and then Tucker, and whoever else coming up the pipeline. Based on that trade, yeah, I'd do it because you're like, why not, right? But does your team become better automatically? I watched this guy defensively. He's not great. He's not great. He gives up a lot of ice. He doesn't have great gap control. He doesn't have a great defensive stick. Will he play physical? Yeah, he will. But for me, if he's going to play in your top four, he has to separate himself from the herd. And I just don't know if that's the direction I'm going in. But it's interesting. The part where you're going to have problems, though, is with Justin Falk heading the other way. He's got a full no-trade clause right now. And then on July 1st, it turns into a 15-team no-trade list. Let me tell you who's already on there.
Is it NHL purgatory?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way Justin Falk accepts a trade to the Buffalo Sabres. The organization has been they're like the Cleveland Browns. Seriously, for somebody who doesn't know.
Painted that picture very clear.
There you go. For someone who maybe doesn't know about the Buffalo Sabres team, just think of the Cleveland Browns. Just an absolute dumpster fire. And they're reshuffling the deck. They're moving GMs around and scouts and coaches. You got an assistant coach now that's also going to be an assistant GM. Like, what are we doing here?
Saving money, Jamie.
I don't know, Carey. I don't know. Instead of just firing the guy who sucks right now as a GM, no, we're going to keep him on. We're going to throw a whole bunch of people around him, and I'll make a bad decision together.
This will solve it.
Yeah, it doesn't. So, getting back on topic, Justin Falk is not going to want to trade to the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So he's going to tell Army to go chase himself.
Right.
So it kind of dies right there.
Obviously, people are trying to rediscover the Broberg Holloway restricted free agent deal. Like, who's the next Broberg and Holloway?
What they're doing, Anthony,
I blame Army for this.
For telling us.
I blame Army for all these like upcoming think pieces about who the Blues could acquire next. It's a restricted free agent. You know, this is you could see why people are trying to rediscover the magic here.
Well, here's really you're right, and here's more of an example of that is Army has told us for 2 years in a row now he wants to add players in that specific age group, that 23 to 29.
Yeah,
you know, Byram's 23, so people connect the dots right away. It's like, oh, that's the guy Army wants. Now, he is a good defenseman. He's not great though, and that. For me, is the biggest thing is he's not really offensive. His best season, like points per game, were two of them: 24 points in 42 games and 22-23 for the Avalanche, and 20 points in 55 games and 23-24. Not bad. I mean, not bad. Is the potential there though? Because he's only 23 and he hasn't really had like Colorado. He had good coaching, good teammates, he won a Stanley Cup there, so he has pedigree too. But again. The flip side is, what are you giving up? Because the Sabres, no matter what they want, is probably one of your guys that has a no-trade clause right now. And that guy's not waiving it to go to Buffalo. He's just not. And stop the text already before you say, well, send Kyrou there. Because everybody wants to get rid of Kyrou so bad. You're not trading Jordan Kyrou for Bo and Byram. Like, you're just not. It'd be Bo and Byram and more. Like, so I don't know. In concept, I like it. In reality, I just don't think it'll ever happen.
If he's a restricted free agent, why wouldn't they just do what they did last year with Holloway and Broberg?
Well, is he a restricted free agent? Or
This year?
Is he?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so, right?
Well, I'm double checking.
He is now.
Yeah, he's a restricted free agent right now.
RFA.
So if you wanted him that bad, and then you say you got a crowded room, I mean, you've already shown precedent by waiving one guy and saying go fast lane yourself.
The problem with that, Carey, is right now the Sabres have got $11 million in cap space.
So they can match it.
You're not paying this guy $11 million.
But are they?
Who, Buffalo?
Yeah.
No, nobody is.
Oh.
He's at 3.8 right now. That's probably right where he should be. He'd probably get $1 million. Maybe he's a $5 million defenseman.
Okay.
But, still for me, that's $5 million. You paid less than that to get Philip Broberg, who's a better defenseman.
Right.
So I'm not buying.
So it's a no for me.
I'm not buying it
no for me, dog.
right now. Just like the idea, age, all that stuff. Just not in on it.
We get a text from the 636 that is completely off topic, but it is a question about a trade.
By the way, Freedom Fridays this week, boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Wow. Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's your thought, your brainchild. We appreciate you.
You ready for this, Anthony?
Yes, sir.
If Kirk Cousins is not traded by the Falcons, he will be the starter by week 5.
No chance in hell. Did Michael Penix crack his femur?
Wow.
It happens.
That's the largest bone in the body, Anthony.
That was Vic's injury.
That was Brandon Lloyd's injury, too.
Ooh, broke it. It's nasty. Yeah.
Have you seen those spirals, those tight balls that Michael Penix has been throwing?
Penix has got some great balls.
You like his balls?
Yeah.
Do you?
You seen them?
Nah, I haven't
They're
seen
very
him.
tight.
They
I have
are
not seen his
remarkable.
balls at all.
They are remarkable.
Yet.
I'll show you a video.
I'm okay.
You're gonna be impressed.
Oh, Carey, you've seen him. Come on.
There's no way Cousins is gonna be the starter by week 5.
Maybe earlier, right?
I got to tell you, I didn't want to
Stop
bring
it.
it because I refused to believe it.
Steelers?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, buddy.
They keep saying if Aaron Rodgers is not an option, if he doesn't end up there, the Steelers may pivot and go to
Kirk Cousins.
Oh, God.
Cousins didn't report today. He's upset.
It's voluntary workouts. You don't have to be there. They
He was
don't
there
fine you.
for the one.
They don't fine you. It's optional.
Sure.
Yeah.
The Falcons should find him. We're going to get our damn money back one way or another.
Sounds like a guy that knows he won't be the starter in Atlanta.
Well, he knew
Perhaps
that.
somewhere else.
He knew that when Michael Penix
As soon as Penix was drafted.
He just didn't know when.
If you guys remember correctly, when they took Penix and everybody's like, this is so stupid, blah, blah, blah. Why did they do it? I texted you guys and said, cut Kirk Cousins now.
We get a quick text to wrap up this trade story.
Please do.
It was Grant Francis Fan Club says, if they do see something in him, meaning Byram, why not center the return around Letty instead of Falk? Because he's a lefty And I don't think he has a no-trade clause. Nicoletti does. He has full no-trade clause until June 30th coming up. And then the player submits a 16-team trade list. Guess who's on that list?
Is it Buffalo?
Buffalo.
Okay.
Looks like
Among
we
others.
gotta get the phones working.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We do have a lineup for tonight's Orioles Cardinals game, so we'll play the lineup game next. Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. The lineup for the Cardinals is out. Time to play the lineup game here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Sagano will pitch for the Orioles tonight. He is a right-hander. Right-handed pitcher for Baltimore. Who wants to start this?
This is easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, show us Lars Nootbaar.
International superstar.
Watch out, they're running any walls or anything.
Win.
Yes.
Show us Mason Wynn.
Duncan, bring me that arm.
Show us Donnie Baseball.
Look at that guy. Vibrant, handsome, hair.
All right.
This is Wilson Contreras.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is he back tonight?
He played yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
I'm saying
he played yesterday.
yeah.
Show us Wilson Contreras.
You don't know how to play first base. It's not that hard. Tell him, Wash.
It's incredibly hard.
Hey, anything worth doing is.
Herrera. Show us Yvonne Herrera.
Oh, Yvonne? That's a French-ass name, Yvonne. Yeah, my little croissant. Little cheese on my croissant.
That makes me laugh every time.
Jamie likes someone.
I do. Quessa. This is your guy, isn't he?
Show us Nolan Arenado.
A lot of people think you get in your mid-30s and your career's over, but like I always say, until they stop scouting, I ain't going to stop playing.
All right. I think they're going back to your guy, Jaywalk here. 7?
Jaywalk.
Yeah,
Okay.
Is that where we're going with it?
I would.
Show us Jordan Walker.
What a shame.
Be more careful. Can't figure this guy out. You know, he gets a hit, he sits, he strikes out 3 times, he
Well,
sits.
right-handed pitcher's got to be Burley then. Burley's mashing right-handed pitching right now.
No, Burley isn't it? Well,
Yeah, I can see that.
Play right field, Carey.
oh, I guess you do need a right fielder. My bad.
Jeez.
Sorry. Lo siento.
Go ahead, Jamie.
Show us that Burley.
You're already acting like you're a star, and we haven't even opened yet.
So Pies was yesterday.
Can they not catch 2 days in a row?
They can.
They can. There's no official rule, Carey.
I don't know if maybe not an official rule. but
Usually there's...
the Cardinals may have their own set of guidelines that they abide by.
I would say...
You tired?
yeah, I'd say with Pies.
Yes, I am.
Me too, brother. Yeah.
All right, so are we going catcher here?
Yes, catcher.
Well, we need a catcher.
Oh, okay, easy. Is it Paez or are we going Poso?
I think it's Petey Pages, personally.
I would say Paez. He threw a guy out yesterday. Looks good
What?
behind the plate.
Almost
yeah.
threw out 2 guys.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
That's the reason
God.
why that other guy isn't playing there anymore. Which
Oh, Contreras?
no, not him. The other guy.
Poso.
Nope. Third time's the charm. They got 4 of them, so you pick.
Herrera.
There you go.
Oh, the
Him.
DH, you mean?
Yeah, him.
Yeah, he's a DH. Show us Pedro Paez.
You are so wrong.
So is
So
Herrera
it's not
catching?
a catcher then. It's got to yeah.
So then is this Jordan Walker?
Unless it's Poso.
It could be Herrera.
Herrera might be catching.
He might be catching.
They might be sprinkling him in there a little bit.
So if Herrera is catching, then this will be Jordan Walker. Or maybe it's Poso.
Oh, wow. I don't think it's Walker. I don't think Herrera's catching. I think this is Poso.
All right, you do it.
Go ahead.
Show us Poso.
No, no, no.
Son of a batch of biscuits.
Well, we've used all the catchers.
All right. Yes.
Yes. So this is Jordan Walker.
It's got to be Jordan Walker.
And Burley is DHing, and Herrera is catching. Show us Jordan Walker.
Oh, wow. Rogue.
Not great.
Goodness gracious.
Okay,
Who the hell is batting here?
let's slow down.
Oh, wait.
Nolan Gorman had 2 hits yesterday.
Is Arenado just DHing, though? And then Gorman's playing
Gorman's back at third.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Because
what happened
Arenado
yesterday.
might still be nursing that little
There you go. Gorman.
rib cage.
Go ahead, Jamie.
Show us Nolan Gorman.
Swings Serenade is brought to you by Gorman's.
Dingers! Hang me a curve and I will hit. Dingers!
So Herrera is catching. Burley will be in right field. So this has got to be
Victor Scott.
Good.
Show us Victor Scott.
Run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
Wow.
All right, Marsh, you run it.
All right, leading off in left field, Lars Nootbaar. Batting second, the shortstop, Mason Wynn. Batting third, second baseman, Brendan Donovan. Your cleanup hitter, first baseman, Wilson Contreras. Batting fifth and catching, Ivan Herrera. Batting sixth, third baseman, Nolan Arenado. Batting seventh in right field, Alec Burleson. Batting eighth, the DH, Nolan Gorman. And batting ninth in center field, Victor Scott the second.
Back. Stay fair! Go fair! I don't believe what I just saw.
Home run.
All right, Marsh, what's the latest?
No home runs on Friday for the Cardinals, so CD remains in the lead with 6 points. Jamie, you're right behind him with 5. Anthony behind Jamie with 4, and I'm behind all of you guys with 3.
All right. You know what? He hasn't hit one in a while. What is he, a two-pointer? He should be
Who's
a two-pointer. Gorman. He's a two-pointer?
Yeah, I think
We need to. We probably should read.
we need to read.
We need to redo this.
Marsh, I asked you. What? You got to put. It's got to mark guaranteed on the box. You need to put the points back on the.
I need to know what's what.
We also need to work with him on this because some of this has changed. Like Arenado should not be a one-pointer anymore.
I don't think any of them should be one-pointers.
Well,
I'll text it to the group.
probably
There you
true.
go.
Thank you. Because I don't know. You know what? Give me Ivan Herrera.
Took you that long for that?
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what. It's strategic. I'm trying to figure out the point system. I don't know.
Yeah. Right now they barely hit home runs, so let's just wait.
Just make a pick.
Yeah. Is it me?
Yep.
Contreras, please.
All right. Marsh, what did you text us?
I texted you
He
guys
sent the list.
the list.
Okay. All right.
Arenado,
Take it easy.
Contreras 1, Wynn, Burley, Gorman, Donovan, Newt 2, everyone else 3.
We established this at the
So
beginning. of the
Herrera
season.
is a 3 then.
Then why isn't it on the box?
Because someone deleted it, Anthony.
So
Who
Herrera
deleted it?
So
It
Herrera
wasn't
is a
me.
3. Correct?
No, we got to redo this.
No.
Because
This is
Arenado
the
can't
list
be
he
a
just.
1.
This is the list he sent out.
That doesn't mean
This is based off of last season.
Last
we
Herrera
set
is a
the
3.
parameters.
So-
it's not our fault that he's having a great season.
Tonight,
Herrera's a 3.
old rules. Tomorrow,
Yeah.
we need to redo this.
We're completely redoing this.
Okay.
Nobody deserves
And
one.
it's got to be on the box. It's got to mark guaranteed on the box. All right? We've got to put it on. I'm not blaming you, Marsh.
Disagree.
I'm blaming us. You
that
disagree with
changes.
what?
That changes everything.
The
prior.
integrity?
It
No, it
changes
doesn't.
everything
Changes the
prior
integrity.
Yeah,
to.
but if we're all in agreement, it changes everything for all of us.
Are we all in agreement?
Yes.
It's like changing a rule in the middle of the season.
You can. It's been done.
That's like saying, you can be in the crease when everyone in the league thought you couldn't be in the
So I'm
crease.
saying that fumble into the end zone doesn't benefit the defense.
Oh, it absolutely does.
It's a rule change for you.
Oh, well, yeah, then I like it.
Okay.
All right. Jamie, you went Contreras, did
Yes, I did.
you? Yeah, give me Nolan Arenado.
He's worth 0 points now, Anthony.
No, he's
according to
worth
the new
one.
rules.
0.5.
It's been close a couple times. Got the one. So
All right, I am going to go with Nolan Gorman. I feel like everyone's dogging on him lately,
sure, and why not?
including me. So I'll take him.
Speaking of Nolan Arenado, could not trading him be the best offseason move by the Cardinals? Dive into that next on 101 ESPN.
think without him showing and sacrificing and doing the things that he's doing, I don't know if we are where we are. You know, people still follow him. They watch what he does. They see him making plays like that and him doing things like that, and it makes you want to do the same. So, yeah, I mean, it's, I'm happy that you know that he's here and he's doing well.
So the first cut you heard was from FanDuel Sports Network. Chip Carey on the call. Nolan Arenado making a sensational play, as he often does. And then you heard Sonny Gray on KMOV discussing the impact of Nolan Arenado. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. It's a Fastlane on 101 ESPN 301. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Lynn Worthy tweeted out, Nolan Arenado's impact is changing, but his impact remains undeniable as the Cardinals' third baseman demonstrates a commitment to the club. And he wrote an article for STLtoday.com discussing Arenado's impact on the Cardinals. And one of the questions, Jamie, that you raised was, could not trading Arenado be the best offseason move for the Cardinals?
Yeah. Like, I just go back to that press conference where John Mozeliak says priority 1, 2, and 3 is trading Nolan Arenado. And then not being able to find a deal that works for both the other team and Nolan Arenado, because we know there was a deal with Houston, and he nixed that. And then for Nolan Arenado to show the professionalism that he has, showing up to spring training, saying all the right things, and then, look, his offensive game is far from okay. I mean, it is far from okay. He's got 5 home runs, batting .234, .684 OPS. That's not Nolan Arenado stats. It's just not. But his defensive game has been spectacular. And right now, when we watch the Cardinals, we're talking about the best defensive team in baseball. He's a big reason why. And if Sonny Gray is speaking the truth, which I have no reason to think he's not speaking the truth, that guys watch him. They watch his work ethic. They see what he does. They follow his lead, you know. And we've said before, Nolan Arenado doesn't come across as a leader, like a guy who stands up and rah, rah, rah. Like Contreras comes across as one of those kind of guys, like a hype guy in the room, like calling guys out, pumping guys up, whatever. Arenado's been very quiet, criticized for that almost, because a guy of that ilk should be more of a leader, but we don't. Maybe he leads in different ways. And right now, it seems to me like he's leading in a way of really, you know, playing for the team, playing a team game. Because in the past, let's be honest, Nolan Arenado's performance at the plate affected his play in the field. A couple of years ago, he was booting balls and you're like, what the heck? But he was just not there. His head was just scattered. I used to call him the bird because his head was always like just bobbing away. Like you could tell he was just stressing. This year, he hasn't let that happen. He's not raking at the plate by any means. We just talked about some of the stats, and we could dive deeper into some of the stats for sure, but they all tell you the same story. He ain't great at the plate. Yeah. He's fine. He's not hurting you. He's not really helping, but he's not hurting you. But in the field, he's playing excellent defensive baseball. And so when you go back to the offseason, had they traded Nolan Arenado, Nolan Gorman would have been getting everyday reps at third, who, by the way, is worse offensively than Nolan Arenado right now, and certainly nowhere near the caliber defensively. So whether it's by mistake or not, or circumstances, is not trading Nolan Arenado one of the best moves the Cardinals made this offseason? I think it is.
I think it has fallen into that.
Fallen into it.
But I also would like to know, and I think the Cardinals would like to know exactly what Nolan Gorman is. Right now, he's got, 85 at-bats in comparison to Nolan Arenado, who has 188. He has 100 more at-bats than Nolan Gorman has. And, yeah, Nolan Gorman is batting 188. His OPS is 569. He's not, and he's only got 1 home run on the year. This is the exact opposite of what we thought Nolan Gorman would be. But I still don't think you know what he is, honestly, because he doesn't play every day. Right. And it's hard to gauge, how good or how bad a player is if they're coming off the bench. It's the routine is so different every single day from, okay, I'm starting, I get to play a couple of games in a row, I got to sit down for the next 3 games. So I think, yes, for the team right now, it has been beneficial that they were unable to trade Nolan Arenado, but for the future, unless you just say we're going to ride it out with Nolan Arenado and we're going to pay this contract and he's going to be our third baseman for the foreseeable future, you still have no clue, in my opinion, what Nolan Gorman is, because you have not been able to get everyday at-bats for him consistently over and over and over again, and I don't think you're getting the best version of him because you don't know. So it has helped for the future. I mean, it has helped for the present, but for the future, I think that's left to be determined.
Yeah, and I agree with that, but I think the Cardinals now in the last, since they started winning some games, I think that they've switched on to the mode of, like, we can win baseball games, and why not make the playoffs this year? Mm-hmm. Whereas at the start of the year, they're kind of selling all of us a bill of goods of, we're in transformation, much like the Blues. Mm-hmm. We're working in the right direction here. The young guys are going to get reps. They couldn't get rid of Arenado, so they had to play him. And so whether it's by accident or on purpose, whatever it is, the team has played really well this year, and the defense has been at the forefront. So you're right about Gorman not getting the opportunities, but that again goes back to me saying because they weren't able to trade Arenado, Gorman doesn't get the reps, and we don't know if he'd be any good, even better than he is right now. Mm-hmm. But the flip side of that is you're winning baseball games with still one of the best defensive third basemen in the league.
I think, too, that when you look at the Arenado situation, you ask, okay, where's he hitting in the order? With those numbers, he should not have stayed in the cleanup spot. So credit Arenado and Ollie. If it did happen that way, that Arenado went to Ollie and say, look, drop me in the order, other guys are hitting better, and Ollie just followed suit. If it did happen that way, and it doesn't really matter how it did, that's important. That's a key component here. The money's already spent. You're paying the contract. Mm-hmm. So just like every other long-term contract where a player gets into his early 30s and his mid-30s, the contract never really looks good at the end. I think a lot of teams just accept that. If you sign a guy at a 10-year deal or you trade for a guy that's got a bunch of years remaining on his deal, and he's 31, 32, 33 years old, you realize the final couple of years, you're just going to have to wear it. Mm-hmm. But is he still contributing? Yes, he's playing elite defense. Are his numbers more palatable as hitting sixth and fourth? Yes. So I think that's where we're at. We have to take a step back and say, where's he hitting the order? Is he still playing elite defense? As a sixth hitter, okay, cool. Came up with a big hit, a couple of big hits over the weekend.
Right.
Basically won you the game on Friday. Playing great defense.
Made a great play.
He wants to be here. Seems to have taken a new, hey, this is the final chapter for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that I'm not domed up when speaking to young kids. I'm cool with it.
Jamie, you mentioned something about just the team winning now and that kind of projecting for what the direction that they're going in. Do they look to trade? They were unable and unsuccessul to start the season. Yeah. Do they look to trade them at the trade deadline if the opportunity presents itself?
I think they're answering the phone. I don't think the Cardinals have sat here now and said, well, no, we're not trading him now. Mm-hmm. I think if the phone rings at the deadline and it's the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Phillies, like whoever it is that thinks that Nolan Arenado is that missing piece.
Right.
Now, mind you, it's going to have to be someone who needs a really good defensive third baseman because it's not going to be for that pop that he once had. Like, you used to be able to sell the fact of, well, people would trade for Arenado even if he's a DH for them. That ain't happening.
Right.
They're going to be only trading for him as a defensive third baseman at this point, the way he's playing offensively. So that, too, will maybe it might kill the opportunity for you to trade him to one of those big contending teams because they all seem to have pretty good third basemen right now that have better offensive numbers. So although I say the Cardinals are still answering the phone, I don't know if the phone's ringing.
Yeah.
I think the Yankees are still the only team that really makes sense out of the teams that he was interested in.
But he has no pop anymore.
But but playing at Yankee Stadium, that at least would negate it a little bit. You're right. They're acquiring somebody that plays elite defense. That at
but
one
Arenado's
point,
numbers for as far as his slug and his home runs and all that, since he's become a Cardinal, he's worse on the road.
Sure.
His numbers are lower on the road, which makes no sense because Bush plays to the pitching.
Sure. What I'm saying, though, is that he played the majority of his games at a hitter's park.
If you can sell the Yankees on what you just told me, by all means, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're going to sit there and say it's going to be such a dramatic difference for Nolan Arenado. That 5 home runs that he's got, that would be 20 in Yankee Stadium.
And you can look it up, too. You can look it up at Baseball Savant.
You can do all that stuff. I just don't think the Yankees are going to say, oh, yeah, in our ballpark, he's way better offensively.
This is why, Jamie, you bring up, I don't know if the phone's ringing. I brought up, there might only be one team left. And it might not be a perfect fit.
Yeah.
But I think there's still just one team left. Out of the teams he'd be interested in, assuming, of course, it's a contender. And the Cardinals would have to say, okay, do we want it? We're winning right now. And who knows where they'll be at the deadline. Do we still want to go down this road? For what? A low-level prospect?
No, so then riddle me this. Let's just say the Yankees or the Dodgers or one of those teams like, yeah, you know what? We think we can help him. We think. Yeah. But what does that deal look like? Because nobody's taken on his salary. Fat chance of anybody saying, give us that $75 million left that he's owed.
That'd be stupid.
No chance. So then, how much are you going to pay as the Cardinals to make the problem, quote, air quotes, go away? Mm-hmm. And then what are you replacing him with? Because if it's not Gorman, if this team is close to a playoff push or they're in first place at that point or they're one game out of the wild card, you can't hang your hat on Gorman and say we're riding it ride or die with Gorman at third base. No, so you're probably going to have to acquire another player. Maybe JC comes up, but in the offseason, you got to reach it. So now you're $10, $15, $20 million to make Arenado play somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to pay somewhere between $5 and $10 million for a replacement. You're looking at $30 million to make your problem go away.
To your point, it'd have to the deal has to make sense for the Cardinals.
Yeah. Yes.
In the offseason, it did because you still had a lot of runway for Gorman.
And you weren't.
Yeah, but you're finding out quickly.
You didn't think you were going to be in.
Things have changed.
Second in the wild card.
There are a lot of There are a lot of variables that have changed now. Gorman doesn't look great, and Carey just said it. You're winning now. So those two variables have changed dramatically from where we were in the offseason.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if you're the Cardinals, the deal now has to make sense, which would include getting some of the money off or.
If that's your main reason to trade him is the money, then you have to make sure a team takes almost all of it.
Sure.
Otherwise, you're sitting there going to end up spending the same amount of money for him and somebody else.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Makes no sense to me.
Yep. All right, it's fascinating. I want to ESPN. What does Doug Armstrong's future look like with the Blues? Jeremy Rutherford wrote. He had his email or his chat, the email questions, mailbag. Thank you. It's the
mailbag.
It's mailbag at The Athletic, where he answered a couple of questions. Two of them were centered on Doug Armstrong's future that were kind of interesting. We'll dive into that next on 101 ESPN. You could go yard all baseball season long with Underdog's Champions Game. In fact, you get paid off for your hunches. So if you feel like a player is going to have a home run that day or maybe a high strikeout total, you're looking at total bases, which is something I know my guy Carey Davis does a lot of. Play at Underdog because they're the leading place to make your sports selections, and you can play now in our state in Missouri. To play, all you have to do is download the app, choose whether or not a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. So maybe you got a hunch tonight on, I don't know, the guy we're just talking about, Nolan Arenado. You can choose from things like the home runs I was mentioning or base hits or total bases. Whether you like the matchup or not, you can go higher or lower on those stats. Once your entry feels good, you could play for as little as $1. If you get everything right, you could win up to 1,000 times your money, all at Underdog. So download the Underdog app, sign up with my promo code Anthony to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, use that promo code Anthony. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Rutherford of The Athletic, our Blues insider with The Athletic, had his mailbag open up, and one of the questions, actually two of the questions, were about Doug Armstrong's future with the club. One of the questions was, with Toronto's recent collapse, could Armstrong be enticed to leave the Blues for Toronto? Another question was, what are the chances Armstrong moves on from St. Louis after the 25-26 season? I know you have 3 years left on his contract as president, but would he listen to outside offers, outside of St. Louis? JR answered both questions kind of in a similar way. Armstrong's under contract. Blues have no interest in him leaving. The exit plan is already in place with Alexander Steen taking over and Doug Armstrong moving to lesser of a role. Jamie, is there any reason to believe that Armstrong will not have an immediate future here with the Blues, or immediate future being the next 3 seasons?
Yeah, there is a chance that you could see Doug Armstrong take over the Toronto Maple Leafs. When? I don't know. And I say there's a chance just because and I have no inside information. I haven't talked to Army about it, nor I don't think anybody really has. But when you look at it on the surface, it kind of would make sense for Army. Toronto Maple Leafs are the New York Yankees of hockey. They're going through some tough times, to say the least. They can't get past the first round, or if they do, they can't get through to the second round. All that, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And there has been, a change there. Brendan Shanahan gone, and the Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment, the ownership group, has said we're not replacing that spot. So they've left it vacant. Seems weird. When you've had a president of hockey operations for I don't know how long now, and you're that big of an organization.
Almost seems like they're waiting on something.
There's where I'm going.
Or somebody.
Are they waiting on Doug Armstrong? Because I don't think right now Army would abandon ship here in St. Louis. He's always said he wants to leave the franchise in better shape than what he got it. One would argue that he would be doing that if he left now because the team's headed in a pretty good direction. But I don't think Army feels that, nothing against Alex Steen. I don't know if Army necessarily feels like he's ready to take over everything. And now would there be a situation where Scott Mellenby takes over president and Alex Steen works with Scott Mellenby? Scott Mellenby's got quite a bit of experience in the front office, especially the Montreal Canadiens, was vice president. A lot of people thought he'd take over when they fired the old guy. It didn't happen. And so Mellenby came back to St. Louis. So there are succession plans that are there if you look close enough. But I think the challenge for Army would be there. At this point, he won a Stanley Cup with the Blues, took a team that was young, added Ken Hitchcock, had a hell of a run with that group, added Craig Berube. They won the Cup. Almost complete rebuild situation. Got this team back up and running, heading in the right direction. A year or two from now, he might be like, you know what? I've done my job here.
Yeah.
I need the next challenge. The next challenge is bringing the Stanley Cup back to the Toronto Maple Leafs because it's been since 1967. So could it happen in theory? Yeah, he could. And he'd be the guy that the Leafs want, if that's the case.
That's why when I saw that, and I know JR said, well, the contract and all those things, if Army wanted out and all of the things that he's done here, I'm sure that Mr. Stillman, they would have a conversation. It wouldn't be as hard for him to get out as...
Well, it might be, but the Leafs have so much money, they just throw money at the problem.
So there you go. So
what does it take, Tom?
Yeah, there you go. You're looking at an organization. You already have the head coach who you won a Stanley Cup with, who is the head coach for the Toronto Maple Leafs now. You talked about Brendan Shanahan being out.
The Army did fire him.
Well, it doesn't mean that the...
Who did he fire?
Chief.
He did.
But that's business,
They're still good friends.
Yeah, probably just best buds. Just business.
I don't know, best.
Oh, yeah, it's business. Sometimes you got to fire a guy that you care about.
I think Craig Berube's just fine right now.
There you go. So
I think you'll be all right.
Yeah.
I thought that would be, and then I don't know. I know Army is from Canada. I don't know what part. I don't know how the provinces work and all of that stuff.
You really should try to dive into it, Carey. Because
I've been to Vancouver. I like it. It was beautiful.
In Canada,
Toronto
we learn
is
all
beautiful
about
as
the
well.
states. In fact, we have a test in the 4th grade that we get a blank sheet with all the U.S. states, and we have to fill it in.
I wouldn't
Get
be
to know your
Ontario,
neighbor, they called it.
Oh, wow.
Vancouver, Toronto. What am I missing?
Oh, boy. No, you got it all. That's it. No,
He was born
Montreal.
in Ontario.
How far is that from Toronto?
Toronto is in Ontario.
There you go. See?
Ontario would be what we would call a province, which you down here you'd call a state.
There you go. So the city.
He's from Sarnia.
Sarnia.
Which is not far from
Narnia.
That's good. Toronto.
Toronto. So, Carey, you're doing
yes.
good.
Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
So you get to go back home. You already are the GM for Team Canada. Like, it's a lot of things that I think could be pulling Army in that direction, and you already do have a succession plan for the St. Louis Blues. It's not like you're leaving them high and dry. You've made a great move to bring in a couple of great players with the restricted free agents and doing that last year. I don't think that this is far off, like you said, as some other people.
It's not as outlandish as you think.
Correct. Yeah.
And you could always, too, trade if Tom Stillman decided, okay, this is going to happen. We'll trade you Doug Armstrong for a player.
Yeah.
That has happened.
There you go.
And you can't.
Austin Matthews, come on down.
Probably not that
Probably not. Army would probably say no to that if I'm about to be president of that team. No, but look, somebody on the text line said, would Army want into that Leaf brush fire? Yes, that's the whole purpose. When you're a competitive guy like Doug Armstrong or anybody, and you have a chance to take one of the greatest franchises in all of sports, certainly one of the greatest in hockey, and do something with that, and be the hero.
Legacy.
The difference of winning a championship with the St. Louis Blues, no knock, right? That is outstanding.
First one in franchise history is pretty big.
It's amazing. But if you were to win one in Toronto, what is that? What's the difference of that versus...
Canadian government would probably give him a home with no
There you go.
taxes for the rest of his life. A special platinum card that he can eat for free anywhere in the country.
Wherever you want.
Yeah, all
And
the poutine he can handle.
He wouldn't even he wouldn't even have to lay that down because somebody
They would just know who he is when he walks
somebody
in.
would
pretty much,
get that for
Let's
him.
just say that he wouldn't have to be the one to jam the knife into the eye,
Nah,
stab him in
no.
the brain, and kill him.
Yeah.
Somebody would do it for
He'd
him.
have
Someone would
people.
just offer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Can I admit something real quick?
Sure.
I totally staltered that Sarnia thing.
It's true though.
I know. I looked it up.
Yeah, it's Sarnia, Ontario.
I just threw a random city out there.
You did.
And it worked.
Wow. Does that mean we can
nice
expect
job.
you to Stalter more things?
I guess so. I don't know.
It does
That's how
work
it started
sometimes.
for Anthony.
Yeah, it does work sometimes. How would you guys feel? How do you think fans would feel? Because I know how you guys would feel. It's like, hey, it's business. It's
Respectful.
respectful. And but how do you think fans would feel?
I don't think they would be mad.
No, I think they'd be okay. I think because Army's already said, like, he's got 3 more years. He's bringing Alex Steen along, and then he's like, I'm out.
Right.
Like, not out of the organization, he'd just be president, but it's kind of like, okay.
I can go elsewhere and recreate or create a standard that we created here. And it's a challenge, like you said, and people that are that high up generally are driven by what's the toughest thing, what challenge can I conquer next. So I think that when I read it, I'm like, this sounds like something that could possibly be happening here soon.
Marsh,
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either.
Marsh, you're in tune with the fans. What do you think?
I don't think that they'd be upset. Like, I really don't. He brought us a Stanley Cup. He is in the process of leaving the organization in a better spot than when he found it, which is something that he said multiple times that he wants to do, and we're in the process of doing that. And, you know, I would assume that he'll be here for a few more years, even before he allegedly could go to Toronto or wherever. Who's to say they don't win another Stanley Cup? So,
good call.
You know?
Go out on top.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like getting a base hit and then sitting down for a game in game 2 of a doubleheader.
Ridiculous.
And then all of a sudden you take off.
You think it's just like that? It's a perfect comparison?
It's similar. Maybe it's like apples to apple slices.
Still apples.
Or apple juice.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. All right. That's Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. The Air Comfort Service text line is 314-399-9646. So if you got a question for one of us or all of us, text in. Our Sports Six Pack Part 1 is next. One of the many things I love about our guy Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation is that he can help out different scenarios. And Stewie, I know recently you helped out somebody that was moving to Florida, got sucked into the bidding wars, and you actually helped them out from here.
Yeah, we did it. It was very simple. They called us up and they said, hey, I know you do loans in Florida, but every time we go to bid for a house, we get outbid. What can we do about this? And I said, it's very easy. Here's what we're going to do. Let's do a cash-out refinance for your house here in St. Louis. Take the cash out you need, put it in the bank, and then when you're ready to make a bid, say, you know what, seller, we can close in 10 days. It's an all-cash deal, and that's what they did. And they did it with us. It took 10 days to get done. They got their money in 13 days, and they went down to Florida for that beautiful second home that they wanted, and they said, hey, we want to buy this condo. We want to spend $300,000. We can close in 10 days. Will you take it? They were the third highest offers. So they weren't number one, but since they had the cash in hand, they can close it in 10 days. They got their condo. They're ready to go vacation. They got their home of their dreams and their vacation home of their dreams. Hey, maybe they'll invite us for the party.
There you go, Stewie. That person did have to start off by calling Stewie or texting him. Maybe they texted him because this is why he gives out his personal cell phone number. He wants you to call him. He wants you to text him at 314-324-4440. It does start there, though. Maybe this isn't your situation. Maybe you're not looking for your dream home. Maybe you're in a situation where you just want to know if now's a good time to refi. Maybe you get some debt that you want to clear up. Whatever the purpose is that you either want to take out cash, lock in your dream home, get a loan for any reason, call Stewie. He's our guy. He needs to be your guy as well. If you missed that phone number I just handed out, you can always Google the bagel loan. Stewie, keep up the great work.
Have a great day, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals back in action tonight after losing to the Baltimore Orioles yesterday. Andre Palante will be on the mound for the Redbirds with a first pitch of 5:35. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so if you have a question you want to send our way, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. We'll do part one of our Sports Six-Pack next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question. Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com. Must be 21 years of age or older. Drink responsibly.
With Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Here's Andrew Marsh with your questions via the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646.
Question number 1.
Just a heads up, Grant Francis is in Mike Ryder's spot today, sitting in the cone of silence, and we get a text from Grant Francis fan club.
Oh, wow.
Shout out, Grant. It's rumored that Bo Horvat is on the trade market. Should the Blues be interested in him?
No. Not at all. From what I've heard from the guys in Vancouver, he was not part of the solution out there. He was part of the problem, which we know now that soap opera continued to happen after his departure to the Islanders, and they're still trying to figure out, what the hell they're doing with things in Long Island now with Bo Horvat. Think about that for a second, and it should give you all the answer that you need. Bo Horvat was acquired from the Vancouver Canucks because things weren't going great from a cultural standpoint with Bo Horvat as the captain.
Right.
He traded to the Islanders. The Islanders re-signed him to 8 years, $8.5 million. He's 1 year into that deal, and they want to trade him. So he's got 7 years left at $8.5 million. Why would you want to trade a guy that you just gave so much money to?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense if you really want him and he's a stand-up guy. And no.
Tells me all I need to know. I don't know Bo Horvat at all.
Yeah.
Never met him. Don't know.
Yeah.
But the indications surrounding, or the things, the indicators around him tell me that something's not adding up.
Right. Doesn't make sense.
Question number 2.
From the 636, when there's a film made about the 2008 Pittsburgh Steelers, which A-list actor does Carey Davis want to portray him?
Wow, Carey.
Back in 2008, I would go with Michael B. Jordan would be a good pick. I was still.
Is he an A-lister?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Especially after the movie Sinners came out.
Yeah, he's up there. Yeah, you haven't heard of Sinners? Oh man, it's a good movie.
Really?
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan. That's where I'd go. Yeah, handsome lad, takes after. I can see that being my part.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean now, I don't know that he would be that film would probably have more people. Number 7 would probably be featured more than 38. Number 86, 92. I mean, it's the host of people that would be
what
featured.
Number was Troy?
43.
He might have somebody big there too.
He'd have a large part. I might probably be more of a supporting role.
Yeah,
but nonetheless, the film is not made unless you have all the supporting cast. The stars are the stars.
What would be your storyline?
When Ben didn't throw me that damn ball in the flat. And I cussed him out from the time I didn't get the ball to the time I got back to the huddle.
Did you yell at him?
Oh, I snapped at him. Jamie, it was bad. He was like, CD, my bad. I'm sorry. Don't throw the fast lane ball to him. He's like, hey, my bad.
Yeah.
Who would play
Did he throw the next one to you? And did he throw it a little bit?
That's the problem.
Did he air it up just a little so that the corner could get a good read on it?
No, Kurt Kittner actually did that to me in Michigan.
When those plays happen, I often wonder if the quarterback hates his teammate. Because you can, as a quarterback, I've never played the position, but as a hockey player, if I'm going to go D to D, I can see if somebody's already jumping the pass.
Yeah.
So then I don't pass it, make another play.
Yeah.
If I just pass it anyway, it's because I hate that guy.
What were you seeing on that play, Jamie? I don't like that guy.
You know what I saw. Yeah. We all saw it.
Who would play Ben? That'd be tough.
That is. I mean, Ben is
you need a large human.
You do.
Yeah.
Ben is like he's a large person. Like he's like 6'5". Like he was almost. I think he's almost 260, 270.
It'd have to be Chris Pratt.
Maybe.
Chris Pratt's not that big though.
Nah, you can make him look bigger.
I mean, Hollywood can do anything.
Who's a I don't know who would be a tall. Who's a tall? I mean, most of the actors in Hollywood aren't tall people.
No, they're not.
They're not really big.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know.
What about Reacher?
Oh,
Is he a big fella? How tall is he?
He's
like 6.
This guy looks like he gets stung by a herd of bees.
There you go.
Might be a little too jacked for Ben, but
He's a lot too jacked for
Maybe.
that.
Maybe.
It would be not believable.
yeah, that'd be tough. That'd be a tough one
difficult,
to
man. It's hard.
go with.
Bradley Cooper would play Big Ben. Bradley Cooper's like 5'10", isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a little frail
5'11"?
dude, too. Yeah, you need a big burly
You
country.
gotta have, you need a bigger person. Yeah. I don't know the actor's name. I'm thinking of
Farrell, no.
Yellowstone Rip from Yellowstone.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen Yellowstone?
I haven't, but is
I don't
it,
know how tall he is.
Yeah.
Is it Cole Hauser?
Yeah, that's
Is that
it.
his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I could see that.
Yeah. I like his character.
Yeah, it's, let's see here. Yeah, Cole Hauser. That's who it is,
Yeah,
Anthony.
him.
He could do it, yeah.
I don't know. He looks like
Let's see here.
like he's probably taller.
Connor N from the Snake Pit says Vince Vaughn.
I thought about that,
Vince
too.
Vaughn
That
is
ain't bad.
Vince Vaughn is tall.
Yeah,
ain't
but
bad.
I don't think he fits the profile.
Probably not.
Cole Hauser's 6'1".
Vince Vaughn is likable.
You can do that. You can make that work.
6'1" could work.
Yeah, you can make that work.
Are we putting like older gentlemen in these roles? Or
I mean,
No, this
what's
is
going
when
on?
they're
tough.
younger.
Marshy, find us a better one then.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't like what we're picking, find us
no,
something
someone
else.
said Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn is kind of up there in age.
He's a little
I don't know
older,
if he has
sure.
that quarterback
But
profile.
we're looking at just the sheer size of the man.
And I'm thinking you don't have to have a tall person because Hollywood can
That
make them
throws the
taller.
film off.
They
Makes it
create
weird.
entire worlds that are somewhat believable. Sure, they can make someone look taller.
Well, they do
Yeah,
because
true.
Tom Cruise in a lot of his movies, he's a little wee guy, and they make him look big.
You know what's
Sylvester Stallone is not a big guy.
Yeah.
And yet, they like in certain movies, he looks like he's a giant guy. So the cameras are able to do a lot of funny things.
Speaking of Tom Cruise, he used to be Reacher.
I know.
In the movie series.
Where they were, and people were pissed, right? Because they're like, this guy is tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
That's one of the reasons I think that the TV show went with,
Right.
I forget the actor's name. I just call him Reacher. Went with him.
He only has
'cause-
one name.
Yeah,
It's
he's-
Reacher. I think it's Alan Richson.
Channing
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Tatum?
Alan
Still haven't watched it.
Richson.
You haven't seen it?
It's good, Carey.
Did you watch that movie? That
I
Netflix
didn't.
movie?
No, I meant to. I didn't get a chance to. Did I write it down? What is the name of it? Oh, I don't have it. Oh, yeah, it is. What's Inside?
What's Inside?
Yeah.
What's
I got
Inside is not pleasant. Not pleasant, Jamie.
Depends.
That's true. All right, question 3, please.
Question number 3.
From the 816, who is your current cold, dead hands Cardinals prospect?
Current? Does that mean they haven't played yet, or is this
I don't think that we can name anybody in the team a prospect
Currently,
right now.
So get rid of prospects. Let's just say someone in the organization.
I would say Tink Hens.
What?
You haven't seen.
You haven't even seen him yet.
I'm not going to think.
Well, you can't say Victor Scott. He's not a prospect.
He said
anymore.
he
I
got
said
rid
get
of
rid
it.
of,
He
get
just
rid
got
of
rid of it.
prospect. Anybody in the
Anybody.
organization.
Oh, anybody.
Because when
Anybody.
that conversation happened, Dylan Carlson
Mason
was
Wynn.
still on the team.
Mason Wynn.
Mason Wynn was my pick.
Yeah.
I like that.
Might never pitch ever.
What I'm saying is, well, why wouldn't he pitch
Go
ever?
ahead, Carey.
You know, they said the same thing about Matthew Liberatore.
They did.
Go ahead, Carey.
I would probably go Victor Scott or
Giving up on Tink Hens. We
Hasn't
haven't
given up
seen him
anything.
yet.
What has he proven to you?
you tell me to go ahead and then they just argue.
I'm not saying
he's
that
not
he's
stopping.
proven anything. I was going with a young prospect.
Carey, I'm interested in yours. What you say. I'm tired of him.
I answered, but you all were arguing.
I can't hear
What's
you
your
over his
answer?
yelling.
Sorry. I apologize. What'd you say?
I said Victor Scott or Mason Wynn.
Okay.
Can I go Avon Herrera too?
Yeah, I thought
Why
that
don't you take
was
half
the
the team,
obvious
Carey?
answer.
Yeah, right. It said
mean,
one.
Apparently the whole team has no
I
trade
don't know
clause.
if you all pay attention.
If you're not
I
gonna play the
never
game
have just
right-
one.
I know you don't.
Never.
That's part of the issue.
not a bad
We're
model.
trying to play a
There you go.
game, and you're
However.
like, I'll take all of it.
Carey Busey.
Carey Busey,
That's Jamie in his movie.
Oh, come on.
You mean the Rocket?
Depends. Depends what part of the movie we're in.
Yeah.
Never know.
He could play you in Croatia just fine.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. But everywhere else, no.
Everywhere else, I just don't see that.
No,
But it's
I don't
funny,
see it
though.
either.
It is very funny.
I feel like Ben Affleck would play you.
Ben Affleck.
You just made the same face.
did.
It's not as bad as Gary Busey, but just Ben Affleck. Yeah.
Maybe Dave Matthews could play.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
He does have acting chops.
Yes, he does. And people like him and hate him, so there's no between there. All right, part 2 of the Sports Six-Pack is next, so keep those questions coming into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Again, part 2 of the Sixer, next in the Fast Lane.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. And I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com. Must be 21 years of age or older. Drink responsibly.
It's the best. 101 ESPN. With Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, and Anthony Stalter.
The real Carey Davis.
The real Carey Davis. Part 2 of the Sports Six-Pack. 314-399-9646. Is the Air Comfort Service Tax Line if you have any questions for us. Question 4, please, Marsh.
Question number 4.
From the 314, the Men's Hockey World Championship came and went. If the Stanley Cup playoffs weren't going on, do you think it would have had the same hype as the Four Nations?
No. It never does. It just doesn't. Like, you're getting, first of all, you're not getting all of the star players all the time. This year was rare that Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, Ryan O'Reilly, like so many guys went over there. It didn't help. Canada lost in the quarterfinals. Woof. Not a great look when Denmark beats you. But for Team USA, I think that for me, there were more guys on that team that wanted to prove something. Clayton Keller, Tage Thompson, among others, left off of the Four Nations team for that tournament. They definitely want to be part of the Olympic team next year, and they showed out. Tage Thompson scored the tournament winning goal for the gold medal. Clayton Keller was captain of the team. So, I think that the U.S. had a lot going for it. First of all, it's a great team. Now, if you've got the A squad or the B squad, Team USA is no longer like second fiddle. It's Canada and the U.S., and we saw that in the Four Nations. It went all the way to overtime. It's not a gimme. So, anyways, but there's never any more eyeballs on it, the World Championship. It's not big enough over here for that.
I agree.
Question number 5.
From the 316, with the way Matthew Liberatore is pitching this year, do you guys see him being an ace in the future?
I don't know about an ace, but I definitely see a top-of-the-rotation arm. Somebody that is capable of being either a 1 or a 2. I don't think that all number ones are aces. Like the White Sox don't have an ace. They have whatever their version is of a number 1. I think Matthew Liberatore can be a top-of-the-rotation arm. And the fact that we're even talking about that, I think, is the biggest, the key to this, right? Because I think at some point we'd say, well, if Liberatore could just be a 4 for you or 5 for you, But his numbers are off the charts. The eye test, he's been great. Jamie said, I'm still waiting for kind of the other shoe to drop. You admitted that. But for me, it was a couple of weeks ago where I said, I think he's a dude. I might be a little early. Jamie might be a little late on this, but I think we are seeing the evolution of somebody that could be a number 1 or number 2 for this Cardinals organization.
Yeah, I think he's doing a fantastic job. I think he's only going to get better. Right, I think the more opportunities that he gets, the more starts that he gets, the more innings that he pitches throughout the year and going forward, I think he's only going to get better. Right now, he's a 2.75, 2.73 ERA, and he looks like a horse, like a guy you can trust to pitch a lot of innings. He pitched 7 Saturday, and to me, he just looks like a guy that can keep going, and he's probably going to have a complete game here before the year is over. Seeing that the Cardinals trusted Fetty to do it, I think he's probably the next one in line to have that complete game because he just feels like a guy that can keep going.
This looks like we're all parents except for Marsh. This is when you see like your child's, you're watching him or her like get something, and all of a sudden the light bulb clicks. Something has clicked for Matthew Liberatore, and it is really fun to watch.
I'm happy for him because, look, so much pressure around this kid when Randy Arozarena went off. And then after that, everybody called it a bust trade. The Cardinals got duped and blah, blah, blah. Right. And this poor kid has had to try and continue to develop, learn, and own his game and everything. He's had to do that under the pressure of the Randy Arozarena terrible trade by the Cardinals. And now he's out here shoving. So happy for him, man.
This is a really interesting question from Todd B in the Snake Pit, and I don't know if I can answer this outside of it just looks different. But what do you guys see in Liberatore this year that Palante didn't have last year? Because Palante looked solid last year. He absolutely did.
I don't think he looked like this, though.
I don't think he pitched as deep consistently into games.
Palante? Palante was left for dead every time. Remember, Ollie didn't care about him. He's the only guy left out there past the 6th inning.
But I'm looking at his when it comes to like July on, he had some games where he pitched. It was either like 5 and dive or 7. Matthew Liberatore, from a chase standpoint, he doesn't walk anybody. He's got decent strikeout numbers. I don't know. I think it is a look different, but I still think that's a really interesting question. And I also think that Liberatore has consistently pitched deep into games. He's got hitters off balance. Palante, more of your typical ground ball guy. But he also missed barrels last year. He's just a pure ground ball guy.
I think Palante's stuff is better. I mean, Liberatore's stuff is better.
I agree.
Yeah.
Question number 6.
From the 314, somehow St. Louis was ever able to get an NFL football team again, and we're going to build a new stadium. Would you prefer another dome or an outdoor stadium?
I like outdoor.
I love outdoor.
Yeah.
I love the natural elements. I think the weather in St. Louis is fine. Like, you're not going to run into some massive problems. Might be a little hot.
Oh, this would be definitely hot.
Might be a little hot. A little cold.
Not too bad.
January.
But that's football, though. For me, that's football. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs deal with it.
Yeah.
So
I think outdoor.
I can't sit here and say, St. Louis is going to beat the Chiefs deal with it. And all they're doing is winning Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So
gives you an advantage.
Splashback Deuce, going back to the previous question, Libby fixed his fastball. Palante might have already hit his ceiling. I think that's a really good point. Todd B came back and said, thanks, guys. I don't disagree. Was just curious. Todd B, really a fascinating question. Because Palante was like solid last year, but it feels different with Liberatore. I don't think, and I think this goes back to
sorry, go ahead.
No, it's good, to Splashback Deuce, who says Palante may have already hit his ceiling. I think we've kind of seen the best of him. I don't know if we've seen the best out of Liberatore.
I think that's how I feel as well. I think Liberatore has something more.
Yeah, absolutely, and he should. He was a highly touted prospect for a reason, guys. Palante wasn't.
Right.
So Palante, to me, projects to be a number 5 in your rotation.
Sure.
You throw him out there every 5th day, you're not too worried about it.
Right.
Is he going to wow you? No. He's going to give you a chance to win. Whereas Liberatore could be your number 2 guy for the foreseeable future.
But one thing Jim doesn't have going for him today is that he can't hide that he's a really nice guy. And as we know, Andrew Marsh only pile drives nice guys in the Gauntlet.
Hold on, no. Jim did say Friday. He said,
do some bad things.
If he beat me, he was going to do some really awful things over the weekend.
We'll see if that can change in just a couple of days. Gauntlet trophy on the line for Jim. A save opportunity on the line for our guy, Andrew Marsh, who was going with was that the Fernando Rodney?
This is the Fernando Rodney cap.
Nice. I like that. Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN.
to the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling. The Gauntlet.
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
All right, Gauntlet time. 401, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Andrew Marsh has a save opportunity, but we have Jim on the line coming off the Memorial Day weekend, in which he promised to do a lot of bad things so that he could beat Marshy today. Jim, how are you?
I'm doing good, guys. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Doing good, Jim.
A little nervous there, Jim.
How many horrible things did you do all weekend, Jim?
I made several poor decisions, boys.
That's a normal weekend for us here in the Fast Lane. What bad things did you do?
Yeah, you could really impress us.
Yeah. Are you at least calling from a jail cell right now?
You guys are my one and only call.
I like it.
I said that. I said
Man,
it on
you
Friday.
did. Yep, you did. All right, Jim, we already know that you have one Fast Lane member left. It is Andrew Marsh. So after you tell Marsh to spin that wheel, we'll kick him out of here and we'll see how you do today.
All right, sounds good.
Go ahead.
Spin that wheel, Marshy.
There you go. Wheel has been spun. Andrew Marsh is going to get out of here. Carey, do you have the launch codes?
I definitely do.
He does.
He's very prepared. Marsh is going to head to the Cone of Silence, where I believe Grant Francis is in there with him.
Oh, Jim, I'll tell you what, buddy. You are going to have to earn this championship. The category is hockey.
I like hockey.
Marshy's really good at hockey, Jim.
He is, yep. But Jim, a worthy contestant.
I'm not saying easy, though. He's in the finals here. But,
All right.
man, this is gonna be a heavyweight tilt.
All right, Jim, you already know the rules. We're going to give you 4 hockey-related questions. Each one is worth 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, those questions are worth 1 point. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Ron Francis was taken by the Whalers with the 4th overall pick in 1981. But where did the Hall of Fame center finish his playing career?
Pittsburgh Penguins. Final answer.
All right, Jim. Question 2. Vladimir Konstantinov suffered a career-ending injury in an accident following the Red Wings' 1997 Stanley Cup championship. Previously, Konstantinov had starred for which of the Soviet Elite League's powerhouses?
Man, only one I know is Moscow. Let's go with the options.
All right. Is it CSKA Moscow, better known as the Red Army, St. Petersburg, or Moscow Dynamo?
Moscow Dynamo. Final answer.
Question number 3. Last year, Edmonton won the West Final over the Stars in how many games?
Let's go 6. Final answer.
Final question, Jim. Name the only Ducks goalie in franchise history to play in 500 games.
Let's go Jaguar. I think his name is John Sebastian Jaguar. Final answer.
All right.
All right, get jiggy with it.
Let's bring back Andrew Marsh from the Cone of Silence. Jim, how are we feeling on a championship battle Tuesday?
I think I probably should have took the options on a couple, but I think I had to go this way just to go for the W.
Okay. All right.
I'm not going to comment now. I'll comment final when we're done with this. That it's a challenge.
Marsh.
Yes.
How was the Cone of Silence?
Very silent.
Oh, no, Grant?
Grant left.
He took
left?
off. Yeah.
He came in here and said bye.
He did. Remember, he said bye, guys.
He did say goodbye. Yeah. I got a lot going on, Carey. All right. Sorry I can't be as perfect as you.
Yeah, Carey.
Sorry. It pops up
Marsh.
my halo. Over the
Yes.
weekend.
There you go. I'm blinded by it.
Your category is hockey.
Oh, okay.
Back at lunch, Marshy.
Okay.
Here we go. Question 1. Ron Francis was taken by the Whalers with the 4th overall pick in 1981. But where did the Hall of Fame center finish his playing career?
Where did he finish playing hockey? I think this is kind of a trick question because it's the same organization. I believe he won a Stanley Cup with the Carolina Hurricanes and then retired. So I'll go Carolina Hurricanes, final answer.
Question 2, Marshy. Defenseman Vladimir Konstantinov suffered a career-ending injury in an accident following the Red Wings' 97 Stanley Cup championship. Previously, though, Konstantinov had starred for which of the Soviet elite league's powerhouses?
Options.
Was it CSKA Moscow, better known as the Red Army, St. Petersburg, or Moscow Dynamo?
I was thinking Dynamo. I'll go with the Dynamo, final answer.
Question number 3. Last year, Edmonton won the West Final over the Stars in how many games?
Oh, jeez. I don't believe it went 7. They didn't sweep them. So it's either 5 or 6. Oh! I'm going to go with 6. 6 games. Final answer.
Last question. Name the only Ducks goalie in franchise history to play in 500 games.
Wow. Okay. It's either John Sebastian Jaguar. Jonas Hiller's got to be on that list. It's between those two, in my opinion. I don't know how long Jaguar was there for, and Hiller was injured a lot, too. Had some of the worst goalie mask, too. But is there a third? Is there a third? Oh! Oh, jeez. Finkel, Einhorn, Finkel. Yeah, I'm going to go Jonas Hiller, final answer. I don't like that, but it's probably Jaguar or somebody else.
All right, let's go over the options here. Gentlemen, we are going to go straight down the list.
All right.
Go ahead.
Question 1. Ron Francis was taken by the Whalers with the 4th overall pick in 1981. But where did the Hall of Famer finish his career? Jim, without the options, said the Pittsburgh Penguins. Marsh, without the options, said the Carolina Hurricanes. Only one team that you guys chose is an option. Correct answer is
the Toronto Maple Leafs.
The Toronto Maple Leafs is the correct answer, Marsh. To make you feel slightly better, Carolina was an option.
Yes, it does make me feel better.
All right.
Was he not on that team?
I don't know.
He was.
He was. Okay, so he didn't retire then. Thought maybe he'd retire.
His last little stint was with the Leafs. They brought him to Toronto to lead the team. Nowhere.
Oh.
Sorry, Ron. Hell of a player, though. He was.
Question 2. Defenseman Vladimir Konstantinov suffered a career-ending injury in an accident following the Red Wings' 1997 Stanley Cup championship. Previously, Konstantinov had starred for which of the Soviet elite league's powerhouses? Jim, with the options, said Moscow Dynamo. Marsh, with the options, said Moscow Dynamo. Correct answer is
CSKA Moscow.
Yeah, better
CSKA.
known as
the Red Army.
And the Red Wings couldn't get these players right away because they were in the Army. Playing hockey for the Army. There you go.
Got it. So we get a 0-0 tie. Third question. Last year, Edmonton won the West Final over the Stars. In how many games? Neither of you took the options. Both wound up with 6. Correct answer is
6.
Wow. 6 is the number. 2-2 tie. 2-2 tie between Jim and Marsh. It comes down to this. Name the only Ducks goalie in franchise history to play in 500 games. Neither of you took the options. Marsh, you went with Hiller, who was not an option. Jim went with the other goalie that you mentioned, Marsh, in Jean-Sebastien Giguère, who was an option. If it's Giguère, Jim wins. If it's, is it Guy Hebert?
Guy Hebert.
Guy Hebert.
If it's Guy Hebert or John Gibson.
Ooh, John Gibson. Yeah.
Well, we've got a walk-off. So, Carey, name the only Ducks goalie in franchise history to play in 500 games.
It is John Gibson.
Yeah,
Jim.
Walk it off.
We're going to walk it off.
Oh, it's like game 7 overtime.
Poor Johnny Gibson's been in purgatory that long.
Old Johnny Gibson was the answer to that question. So, 2-2 tie. Jim, as you know, you're going to hold off on your answer while Marsh writes down his answer as we walk it off with our tiebreaker. Once Marsh writes down his answer and shows us, you will need to give an answer. Closest to the pin wins. We will have a winner today.
The tension.
Jim, got the rules.
Yes, sir.
All right. As Gator just said in the snake pit, very fitting for the final. And he's right. And here we go. Here's your closest to the pin tiebreaker question. In the 2019 playoffs, how many points did then Blues captain Alex Pietrangelo record? In the 2019 playoffs, how many points did the then Blues captain Alex Pietrangelo record? Marsh is thinking. He's going to write down his answer right now.
He's not sure.
He's not sure, and
But he
shows us. Okay. He's got his. Jim, what is your answer?
I'm going 18.
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
On Friday, Jim also priced me out. I had 28 as an answer. He went with 30. The answer was 35. Jim just said 18. Marsh, you wrote down
17.
Oh, my. Holy cow.
If it's anything higher than 17.
Let's go, baby.
In the 2019 playoffs, Jamie, how many points did then Blues captain Alex Pietrangelo record?
17's a great answer. 19 is the answer.
Jim.
You have chosen wisely.
19. Two closest to the... I'm not even mad. I'm not mad.
That is well done.
Jim, I don't know what disgusting things you've done in your life to get to this point where Marsh lost to you. But congratulations, man. Well done.
Congrats.
Well done,
really
Jim.
That was a game 7 to the head. I'll tell you what.
That was. You know what that was? Marsh was on the road. He hit the game, what he thought was the game-winning home run. It was just the run that put him up.
Yep.
And then Jim in the bottom of the ninth hits a 2-run shot to win it. I also lost in a similar manner, Marshy, so don't you dare hang your head. Jim, congratulations. You earned yourself a Gauntlet trophy.
Pretty damn good.
If you come by to pick it up at the station here, we'll certainly take a picture with you and meet the man that took us all down.
Yeah.
Nice job, Jim.
Yeah. Hell yeah, for sure.
You're speechless. I
Well
like
done,
it.
buddy.
Good job, Jim.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. It was super fun. Yeah, I'll see you guys soon. And thanks for everything you do again, guys.
No,
right,
you
thank you
got
for
it. Thank you,
listening.
Jim.
Good job.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, Jim.
Nice.
Oh man.
We usually get a lot of comments rolling in the snake pit. Almost everyone was, "Hey, that was great, instant classic. Congrats to Jim. Jim scored as 1.6 seconds left. MD 2020. A lot of fun. That's what the Gauntlet was all about. Marsh, that was a tough one, pal.
Dude, I
Those are tough
almost
questions.
wrote 18 down, and I changed it at the last
my
second
God.
to 17.
I almost put down 34.
Yeah. You didn't, though.
I didn't know. I certainly didn't.
These were tough questions.
These were very tough. These were not in Marsh's wheelhouse. I mean, they kind of were, but we needed who sneezed in Game 7 when the Blues knocked off and then you would have known.
Yeah, it was Steve Ott on the bench.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
The only one I would have known for sure was the Red Army one.
Sure.
That's it. The other one I would have had to option it or guess. That's tough.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
The
for sure.
618 calling Jim the Jim Reaper.
The Jim Reaper knocked on all of our doors.
He did.
Knocked on all of our doors. Yep. All right. Well, Marsh, unfortunately, you have to head to the penalty box.
Yep.
Wow.
Carey, you got to take over the board.
Okay.
Yeah, Carey's on the board.
And Grant left us already, so.
Damn it, Grant.
I'm sure we'll be fine. Should Mo's legacy dictate his actions at the trade deadline? We'll answer that next on 101 ESPN. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Again, congrats to Jim for winning the Gauntlet trophy.
That was impressive.
That was very impressive.
Yep.
Very impressive. MLB Network Radio on Sirius XM had Jim Bowden on.
Bobby's brother.
No.
What?
As he predicted. Really, Jamie's out. He wouldn't have said it.
He would have said it if he was here. Say it again.
Jim Bowden.
Bobby's brother.
Predicts that the Cardinals will keep their veterans at the trade deadline and gives his reasons.
So disgusted.
Go, Jim.
If they have a chance to win, Mo's going to try to win. This is John Mozeliak's final year running the St. Louis Cardinals baseball operations. This is it. This is his swan song. And just talking to him in spring training, like he didn't like how this was going to end, right? Like he had money his whole tenure, and in the final offseason, he had no money to spend, and he didn't really want to go down this way, right? The way they played last year. It was discouraging. So if he has a chance to go out as either a winner or a wild card berth, or have a chance to win with a week to go in his career, yeah, no, he's not selling it. But and they don't have to, right? They're building a young team. So, yeah, I don't think so. Now, that being said, understand this. If the Phillies called up and said, we'll give you a painter for Helsley, he'll say, what time do you want the press conference? Maybe even Mick Abel for Helsley, he'll say, what time do you want the press conference? So I'm not saying if he's not overwhelmed with an offer. But knowing Mo, he'd like to finish with respect to his career. You know, he's been a GM of a world championship club. He's won a lot of divisional titles in St. Louis. He won a lot of games in St. Louis. And, you know, you're always going to remember the last year of a person's career. You don't usually remember the best years. You remember the final year. If he has a chance to win, I think he holds on to Helsley and Arenado myself.
What do you guys say? What do you guys think? Do you think Jim Bowden is accurate in this? That knowing what we know of Mo, knowing the situation?
I have a counter question for that.
Okay.
Is that considered selfish?
Marcia, you need to stand up while you're in the penalty box. The safety cannot see you.
What? Oh, I need to scoot over. I'm sorry. That's on me.
Well, Carey, you're supposed to go behind where Marcia goes.
You don't want me over there. I don't even know what the hell is going on.
No, I have to stand up?
Just you can sit down.
Yeah, you got to stand up.
Am I sitting down or standing up?
You're standing up.
Sit down.
When I move, you move.
Just like that.
Now you can see him. I moved out the way.
Thank you, Anthony. Carey
He's like a
didn't even
angel
get
on my
that
shoulder.
at all.
I wasn't paying attention.
Right.
No, so I do think that he probably stands pat, right? Because you're winning and you want to go out a winner. Mm-hmm. My question is that selfish? Because what you could get in return, if the return is great, right? If you can get something that can make the roster, make the team, make the organization better for years to come, shouldn't that be the ultimate goal as opposed to going out on a high note?
Yes.
So
it's setting up the organization.
Would it be
better
selfish
in the future.
if he didn't do that in terms of going out and making a trade at the deadline?
Yeah,
because
selfish.
I want to be on a high note when I leave.
I'll say selfish-ish because he wouldn't be the only one that would benefit from a winning season.
But the team would benefit. The organization would benefit more from winning seasons.
Theoretically, yes.
So. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I got the devil over my shoulder back there. So
what?
No, you can't be the devil.
It's not the devil.
No.
Don't worry about
I'm
your
sorry.
halo.
You stand right here.
Not today.
That's the angel.
That's a bad guy.
It's a little unnecessary.
I love you, Jamie.
But
you know.
Spot on.
What? I'll let you jump in.
Yeah, just
how are you kidding?
Let's be honest.
Let's just be honest. We all have played the devil at one time.
Yeah. Let's just be honest, Jamie.
Whatever. I think Mo's going to take the approach much like Doug Armstrong did this year. I actually feel like Mo he'll never admit this, but I feel like he's kind of mimicking a little bit. He's looking at the guy down the road and saying, okay, maybe I should be a little more like that, because all of a sudden out of nowhere, the messaging was a little more clear in the offseason, going with their retool or their transformation. Like a lot of things in the last year seem to be said almost the same way. And I think the behavior will be the same at the trade deadline. If Mo can make a good trade, moving Ryan Helsley for something that helps them now and for the future, then he has to do it. Never mind his legacy. His legacy is, like Army always says, he wants to leave the team better than he found it. Well, pretty tough for Mo to do that, because when he found the team, they were one of the best in the league.
Right.
So it's tough to do that. But he can lead the team in the best shape it's been in the last 4 or 5 years. by moving Helsley, bringing in a young player that can help them now and in the future. And then if you can move the Arenado deal off the books, so be it. I don't think he'll be able to do that. I don't think there's much more he can do, to be honest.
Go ahead, Marsh.
I have a question from the penalty box over here. Do you think if this specific group, like this core group, ends up winning a World Series, let's say in the next 5 years, and obviously Chaim Bloom would be the guy running that team, do you think people will give Mo his flowers, so to say?
They should.
No.
I mean,
if they win in
probably right,
if they win in 2 to 3 years, they will be crediting Chaim Bloom.
Yeah, he's the one that got him. He restored the Cardinals.
They will not credit Mo, and even this is Mo's team.
Right. You're right.
But they will look at. Well, sure, Bloom made him do it. Like
they didn't start winning until that Chaim Bloom was on board.
Yeah, right.
Until they get pissed at Bloom, and then all of a sudden, that was Mo. He won with Mo's players. Like. The cycle will just continue.
It's sick, right?
But the praise, whenever an organization wins, it's never just the GM. It's never just the president. Mm-hmm. It's the previous president that I'm talking about baseball specifically. It's the previous president that drafted some of those players or acquired some of those players. You have to give him credit. Current GM, because he orchestrated it. The coaching staff, the players, like the praise pie is much larger than what we hand out the pieces. You know,
I agree.
We tend to say,
it doesn't matter, Anthony. It doesn't matter. It's whoever's face you see at the top of the food chain. And even though we know the DeWitts are behind a lot of it too, because they have to agree to money going out, money coming in, all that stuff. They have the last say. We only talk about them almost secondarily. Like, Mo's always first. He's the first target because that's where he is. He's lined up right there at the front of the line. Mm-hmm. So, boom, Mo's the first target. And then you dive in a little deeper and go, oh, okay, well, if the organization's not giving him the hundreds of millions of dollars to pay player X, Y, or Z, well, then the ownership is, the DeWallets. All of a sudden that happens. But very seldom do you hear them say, that director of scouting, he really fumbled the ball on that one off season. Like, because they're not there. But again, it's not a pity party for Mo or Army or whoever's at the top of the food chain.
Yeah, you're the leader.
You're the leader. You've earned your spot there. Whether people believe it or not, you've earned your spot there. You're getting paid the big bucks. So if you're the first one in the line of fire, then so be it. That goes with the territory.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you get all the credit or all the blame. Mm-hmm. And in Mo's case, he has gotten a lot of blame. And I just believe if they turn good, like championship good in the next 2 to 3 years, he won't get credit because he won't be here. It'll be forgotten. It'll be like, Mo didn't do that. Chaim Bloom did this. And this is when it started to shift. Things didn't start getting better till they hired that Chaim Bloom. Like, that's the conversation that takes place.
Are they wrong?
I don't know. I don't know. I think things got better when they let the people play that they drafted. Imagine that. That's crazy, right? You drafted them. You're not going to play, though. We're going to bring in some older guys.
Yeah. We got this guy named Crawdaddy.
Yeah. We need some veteran leadership.
He hit this pitcher really hard 5 years ago.
It's like spending all that money on a new pair of Jordans. Like, I'm going to just
and never wear them.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to old reliable here. Your shoes that look like crap.
So, I think that a lot of things have changed. I just don't know how much credit Mo will get. And trade deadline comes, I don't know that it makes sense to hold on to both of them, especially I could see you holding on to Arenado. It wouldn't make sense if you have suitors for Ryan Helsley. Mm. And I said this last year. You all thought I was crazy. But it doesn't make sense to hold on to him knowing that he's going to be a free agent. Are you going to be able to sign him? Are you going to want to sign him? Does he want to be here? Does he want to test free agency? Like, there are too many what-ifs out there for that situation. If you can get something for him and not lose him for nothing, it would make sense to trade him. And now you've already seen, you've given Graceffo an opportunity. Phil Maton has closed games. You trust Kyle Leahy. You have guys at the back end of the bullpen that you could trust to close a game out if Ryan Helsley is not your closer.
Well said. Marsh?
Yes.
Any other final thoughts from the penalty box today?
No, I think my 2 minutes is up. I'm ready to get back on the ice, Coach. You want me on the ice or coming to the bench?
Get off the ice!
Off the ice!
Get off the ice!
Yeah.
Get off!
Yeah.
Straight
Mario
up.
Lemieux is on the ice. You know where you need to be. All right, it's Fast Lane on 101 to ESPN. Speaking of Marshy, he put together kind of a fun game in which he found an article with a couple of different categories related to NFL teams. Most needs a Super Bowl win, most needs to make the playoffs, things like that. He did not reveal the answers to us. We're going to try to guess what the answers are next on 101 ESPN. Had some friends head out to Herculaneum over the weekend to chat with the fine folks down in Herculaneum at Auto Centers Nissan. No payments for 6 months on select new Nissans. It's one of the deals that Auto Centers has going right now. Again, no payments for 6 months on select new Nissans. Imagine driving off the lot in a brand new Nissan that you don't even have to worry about paying for 6 months, right? No payments for 3 months on used vehicles. So if you're looking at a pre-owned vehicle for yourself or somebody else, they got no payments for 3 months on used vehicles at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum throughout the month of May. But things are wrapping up, right? The month of May is coming to a close. This is the final week. Take advantage of the complimentary new car lifetime warranty at Auto Centers Nissan. Take advantage of the 30-day new car return promise and 3 oil changes included on every new Nissan. And if you're worried about your credit, don't be, because they're so confident that anybody walking through the door can drive away in a brand new Nissan, that they have financing options for everyone. So check them out online at AutoCentersNissan.com. There, you can check out over 800 new and used vehicles. And guess what? When you drive out to Herculaneum in person, those same vehicles are going to be there. No, lot hopping. You don't have to search for your ride. It's going to be right there in Herculaneum. So check them out. Tell them Stalter sent you. Auto Centers Nissan, where the inventory is big, the savings are bigger, and the nonsense is nowhere to be found.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals back in action tonight, taking on the Baltimore Orioles. Andre Palante is on the mound tonight for the Cardinals. First pitch is at 5:35. If you missed anything from today's show, including an exciting Gauntlet finish, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. NFL teams most under the microscope. We're going to do some NFL questions next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
As Marsh just noted in the Sports Center update, yeah, you do like
that one.
Carey's just jamming in here.
All right, Marsh. You do your thing.
As Marsh just said in the Sports Center update, he's got NFL teams most under the microscope. He's got an article in which there's a couple of different categories. He's going to read off the category to us, and then we're going to try to guess what team it is.
I'm keeping track, gentlemen. We're going to give a score at the end of this little fun game that we're about to play.
One team only.
One dream.
Oh, boy. One team only.
Yeah, Carey. One team only.
Yep.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Our first one. Most needs a Super Bowl win. Which team would that be, gentlemen?
Are we individual, everyone?
Yeah,
I'll go first. Buffalo Bills.
Okay. I'm going to go with an obvious one. Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh.
That franchise is, I know financially they don't need a Super Bowl, but for all those people, America's team and all those Cowboys fans, like that organization has been a bit of a dumpster fire here recently. They need a Super Bowl.
So I thought about the Bills. I thought about the Ravens. But I'm going to choose Jamie's third child, the Detroit Lions.
Ooh, yes. Why is that?
Because they don't have Josh Allen, a young quarterback. They don't have Lamar Jackson, who's a young quarterback. They have Jared Goff, the aging veteran, still capable. So I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions. Plus, the Lions have never been to a Super Bowl.
Are you ready for the answer, gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
And this is from Judy Battlestove, NFL.com.
No
the
looking
team
it up.
that most needs a Super Bowl win is the Buffalo Bills. Carey. How about that?
Oh, we're trying to guess the right answer.
Yeah, just the right answer.
I thought it was our own opinion.
No.
I mean, it can be. The game's changed now. Okay.
Now Jamie's in. He's
I
figured
was
it
in
out.
before, but I'll think differently.
Gotcha.
Honorable mentions, the Detroit Lions.
Wow.
You don't get any points for that, though. My Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
And Jamie, the Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh.
Shut up, Marcy.
I don't know about that one. All right, most needs to make the playoffs.
Most needs to make the
that
playoffs.
means they haven't made it in a while. It's been a
A
while.
little desperate.
Most needs.
I'll go with the Cincinnati Bengals. I know they've been there recently, but I think Joe Burrow, that guy, that talent alone needs to be in the playoffs.
I'm assuming it's a team that hasn't been in a while, so I'm torn between two teams. I'm feeling Bears, Jets. Oh, I don't think the Giants will be. Let's go Jets.
I'm assuming this is a team that could make the playoffs, and I also think there's ramifications to it. So with that, the Bears are a good one, but they just hired Ben Johnson. So I'm going to go with the team that has actually been to the playoffs within the last 2 years. Didn't last year, and their head coach is a bit polarizing. Give me the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, that's a good answer,
But
Anthony.
it's not it. I can tell by your face.
But Jamie Rivers comes out victorious.
No.
It is the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, Jamie, nice job, man.
Stupid. I know you're
you're stupid.
by your silence, you guys like, he doesn't get the exercise. Screw you, Anthony. I know exactly what you thought.
Stupid.
It's all good.
Honorable mentions go out to the Dallas Cowboys and the Miami Dolphins.
Sweet mother of pearl.
Almost.
Bridesmaid again.
Feel free to say the same answers, by the way, too. You know? You might have one in this next one. Most needs to solve their quarterback situation.
That's easy. That's the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
I mean, who else could it be?
Who else could it be?
They got 5 of them, and none of them are good. One of them is injured for the year.
The Giants are another possibility.
Steelers for sure.
Here we go.
Here we go.
I'm going to go with the Steelers.
That's where I was going. I'll pick differently if I have to.
No, you don't have to.
I picked the Steelers.
Marsh, just open it up.
Wrong again, Ernie. It's the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, yes. They got 5 quarterbacks and they got none.
The Steelers don't have any quarterbacks and they have none.
They got Mason Rudolph.
No, they don't.
You don't worry yourself. Anthony, the damn Browns took 2 quarterbacks in the draft this year.
How many did you take?
Only one. They
Exactly.
took 2. You don't take 2. You know?
They're going with the shotgun approach.
His favorite quarterback in Joe Flacco.
Hall of Famer. You show some respect.
Kenny Pickett, who was a first-round draft pick on his third team.
Honorable mention?
Honorable mentions, the New Orleans Saints. The Indianapolis Colts. And the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right.
2-1, fellas.
2-1 Carey.
Yeah.
Next one. Most
Like it
needs
here.
to show improvement.
This is a team?
This is a team.
Oh. You go first, Anthony. I've gone first on this. I need time to think about this one.
What's this? Most needs to improve?
Most needs to show improvement.
I'll go with the Carolina Panthers. Young quarterback. Young quarterback that's had one horrible year, one decent year, one half a good year.
Torn again.
I'll go with the Panthers.
I'll go with the New York Football Jets.
Okay.
Good one.
I think they definitely need to show improvement.
This is tricky.
There's another team.
This is tricky because it could be a team that's already good but needs to improve and take that next step, which I would think like the Baltimore Ravens, like they need to improve, or the Bengals, like they need to improve.
Yeah, it depends on how you look at it. Yep.
But I think I'm gonna go with the Bears again.
That's the team. That's the other team I was thinking.
I think I'm gonna go with the Bears.
Jamie was so close. It's the New York Football Giants.
I thought about them for a second.
I don't know if I agree with that one.
Honorable mention.
They just stink.
Too many to mention.
Oh.
That's literally what it
That's
says.
what it says.
All right, final one here. Most needs to reduce the drama.
The Jets.
drama?
The Jets.
The Jets.
I'll go with
But
the
have they
Jets.
already reduced the drama by new coach?
Probably.
Rodgers gone.
The Cowboys.
That's a good one,
That's
too.
it. Cowboys has got
That's
my
a good
vote.
one.
Cowboys.
So we have 2 Cowboys and 1 Jet.
Yeah, I'll go with the Jets.
Give me Jets. Jets.
All right. That was a fun game. Nice job. Carey's our winner.
Honorable mentions go out to the Raiders, the Cowboys, and the Dolphins.
All right. So
You got 2, didn't you? Or you got 1?
No, I got 1.
2-1. All right.
Nice job. Yeah. Nice job, Carey. Yeah. Carey Davis. Good stuff, boys.
That's fun.
Good stuff. Marsh, fun exercise there,
Yes.
kid. Fun exercise. We should do quizzes like this every day.
We should.
So go ahead and just dig these up. And
For sure. I'll make my own.
speaking of Marshy, he's got what's trending next on 101 ESPN.
Starting Friday, May 30th, the St. Louis Sports Show will be coming to you right there in Chesterfield at the Doubletree Hilton Hotel. It's an awesome event. You're going to have so many local sports stars as well as former sports stars, starting with your Blues guys. How about Ryan O'Reilly and Grant Fuhr both be there checking things out? They'll be signing pictures, taking pictures, all sorts of great memorabilia available. Also going to have some Mizzou players. You got the number 7 NFL draft pick, Armand Membu, new Mizzou top receiver, Kevin Coleman Jr., UFC legend, Matt Hughes, and a whole bunch of St. Louis City SC players, starting with none other than the star goalie, Roman Berkey. All of that happening, again, starting on Friday, May 30th at the Doubletree Hilton in Chesterfield. Going to be lots of card vendors there, memorabilia vendors. Going to be the St. Louis Ambush will be there as well. Raffles, giving away sports tickets, all of that great stuff there. And let's not forget Wayno's International Cuisine food truck will be there Saturday and Sunday serving excellent food. So please use a discount that says, discount says Fastlane to 30% off any player signing, and they use the discount code Fastlane30 at checkout. So visit all that, check out St. Louis Sports Show. Get all your information. That's stlsportshow.com.
What are the hot topics in the sports world?
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending? Brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, the Battlehawks take down the Brahmas over the weekend. Friday night, 39-13. Battlehawks now in first place in the entire UFL. 7-2 record. Have the Battlehawks changed your opinion, though, on their team as a whole? Jamie,
Carey,
Marshy, Anthony. After their 2-game losing streak, or do you still think there are holes in the team?
I think the fact that their offense is starting to come alive is a really good sign. They had their passing game over the last 2 weeks has gotten a little better. It wasn't great last week, but the fact that their offense seems to be gelling a lot more with Max Duggan is a huge thing. The defense is already solid. They got more than enough playmakers when it comes to their offense, but they need more of a passing game, and that looks like it's come alive of late.
I think they are a team with good defense, good kicking game. Blankenship is doing an outstanding job still. They're not passing. Duggan only had 12 attempts, so they're not trying to spread the field and take advantage in that regard. It's almost like they understand who they are offensively, and they're going to run the football with their running backs and with Max Duggan. He's led the team in rushing again. I think they are just comfortable in what they are right now. They've shifted from a team, and offenses do that, right? Your quarterback changes. Some of your offensive play callers changed. You have to do things differently than you've done in the past. In the years past, we've seen Hakeem Butler and those guys kind of be the ones that they're going to. Now they're like, yeah, we'll run the ball and play good defense. Usually wins championships. Mm-hmm. So I think they're confident in what they have, and they're going to continue to do that.
They just got to protect the football. I mean, turnovers have been such a huge factor in I mean, they usually are in any football game. But for the Battlehawks specifically, when they don't turn the ball over, they win pretty handily. If they do turn the ball over, how many times can you combat that defensively? Like they had a pick 6 against the Stallions to overcome some of the turnovers that the offense had. So we'll see if they can protect the ball.
Are they in the category right now of if they lose a game, you are thoroughly shocked that they lost?
No.
Even though they're the top team in the UFL?
No. I wouldn't be thoroughly shocked. No.
Why is that?
Because I don't think their offense. I mean, look, Carey's right. When you have a team that plays great defense, runs the ball, has a solid kicker like the Battlehawks do, you should be a good team. But if you don't have that downfield passing, you're one-dimensional. And I think it's only a matter of time before your quarterback becomes a sitting duck. So if they don't develop a vertical passing game, can they still win a championship? Yeah, but would I be shocked if they lost from here on out? No.
Gentlemen, MLB came out with the all MLB teams after 2 months of the 2025 season. We have the first team and the second team. And Brendan Donovan has landed himself on all MLB second team as the second baseman. Does that come as a shock to any of you?
Shouldn't be.
No.
Is he still? He's still top 5 in batting average. I know Anthony doesn't care about that.
I do care about that. I just think you care about it too much.
No, Carey likes stolen bases.
I mean, yeah, if you're talking about the 80s.
If you're talking about the 80s, yeah.
Top 7. But yeah, Brendan Donovan has had a hell of a season thus far.
There's only four players with more hits than Brendan Donovan this year. Aaron Judge, Jacob Wilson, Paul Goldschmidt, and Jarren Duran. That's it. So
Duran.
Not a surprise at all that Brendan Donovan is the first team all MLB right now at second base.
Paul Goldschmidt is batting .345.
Is that good?
That's not bad. You think it helps when you have
yes,
Aaron Judge
yes, I do.
in the lineup?
Yeah.
You think it matters?
Ask Luke Voigt.
Oh, gosh.
Cardinals blew it. Luke Voigt was a logo product. They blew it. He's sitting in between Stan and Judge.
It matters. It helps, huh?
Starting pitcher's like, yeah, I'm going to throw this guy something to hit. The next 2 guys are going to dance around. Yes, it matters. But Paul Goldschmidt, I mean, he was starting to turn it on again last season.
Not like this.
No, not like this.
Paulie G was struggling.
Yeah. But he started to find his stroke again late in the year. Right, Jamie?
Ish.
You watched his stick.
He was his knob, that great big knob he has there.
Jamie showed me his stick the other day when I was over there, his old wooden stick.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's from the 1990s. Had his name on it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Showed me the stick.
It's like a 2x4.
Very, the newer sticks, a lot of flex to it. This one was very stiff.
Very stiff?
Yeah, the shaft was super stiff. Like, the kid's like, what's the flex on that? I'm like, it doesn't have one. It's just
it's just wood.
Big piece of hard wood.
Yep.
Not a big curve on it.
Yeah.
No, straight. Do your best work with
It
a straight.
looked like one of those that you would find with the orange blade if you're playing hockey in school.
Yeah.
No, not roller hockey, but street hockey. Floor hockey.
Or floor hockey.
At school.
Yeah.
And they're like, don't curve the blades. You'll ruin the blades. I'm like, how am I supposed to play with a straight blade?
How did Wayne Gretzky play?
At least we did.
Giving his...
He has now become the new Nick Leddy of the Cardinals.
What? What? Nick Leddy's older veteran guy.
Yeah, but everyone wants to get rid of him.
That's Kyrie.
My goodness.
I can't put Gorman in Kyrie's category. Kyrie's productive. We'll talk about it next on 101 ESPN.
All right, Anthony, you know as well as I do, at least we know now, thanks to Mentality, that, look, it doesn't matter what age you are. At some point, your testosterone starts to lower. It's just a fact. It's a thing. Bottom line. And when that happens, it can really affect you. I didn't know that before. I didn't know it could affect your mood. You could be depressed, your body fat, your energy levels, all of that stuff affected by testosterone and other vitamins as well. But Mentality was there to help us both. They got a great group of people over there. 2 locations, Chesterfield and South County. And they sit down and talk with you, and they find out what's going on with you. And then when they run the blood work, then they're able to put together the customized program specific to every individual, and man, does it work.
Yeah, then when you're on the program, all of a sudden the energy comes roaring back. Motivation is there. The moodiness is stabilized. You're not as irritable. Everything kind of comes back into focus. You're like, man, I feel pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Feel young again.
Yes.
All of a sudden you start taking on more responsibility. Really not more responsibility. It's just the responsibilities that you wanted to get through, and then all of a sudden you're tackling new things. You be the dad that you want to be, the husband that you want to be, the person that you want to be. When it comes to Mentality, again, the energy comes roaring back, and you just start feeling great again. So check them out. Jamie mentioned the 2 locations. You also check them out online. MentalityHealth.com/radio is where you can find out more information. But when you do head to one of the 2 locations, tell them Jamie and Anthony sent you in there. Trust us, the program works. You'll feel great. You'll feel great inside and outside of the gym, inside and outside of your job. Mentality is the best. Again, tell them Jamie and Anthony sent you. It's Mentality.
Jamie Rivers here. I want to talk to you about your home. And if you intend on selling it anytime soon, please don't trust just any average realtor or a friend or somebody who dabbles in the industry. No, trust the best. That's Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria has been in the business for a long time, over 20 years now. And the real estate market overall is a tough one to understand, let alone the St. Louis real estate market. You have different areas that have different price ranges, and everybody wants the most money for their home when they sell it, but you have to price it accordingly. And that's what Gloria Liu does. She'll walk the property with you, talk about maybe some improvements that you can make, small ones, in order to help sell your home a little quicker. And then she sits down and figures out a price with you that can get your home sold quickly and for the most money. So please pick up the phone, call Gloria Liu today. Tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in. Her number's 314-325-6888. Again, that's 314-325-6888. Or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Guys, I don't know about you, but I'm done with the whole Nolan Gorman thing. I don't need any more runway of Nolan Gorman. We've seen enough of Nolan Gorman to the point that I'd rather keep Nolan Arenado, who is a sure thing at third base with his defense, even if the bat doesn't play, when the offense around him is performing well. There's no more I need to see Nolan Gorman right now. I'm more liable to trade Nolan Gorman at the trade deadline to see what I can get back for that than I would with Nolan Arenado at the trade deadline.
So is that Alex Ferrario of BK and Ferrario earlier today, and you heard his comments about Nolan Gorman. Now it sounds like they were having a discussion about whether you would put Nolan Gorman on the trade block or Nolan Arenado on the trade block, and then the conversation kind of went on from there. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. My question is, do you need to trade? And again, they were having a conversation that was very specific. Do you need to trade Gorman, even if you're done with him? Like, if you as a fan, you're like, I'm tired of it, like Alex was saying.
I think
do you need to trade Gorman, or can you just put him on the bench and say, hey, listen, you're going to be a guy that plays every so often, and you're going to be a power guy off the bench for us late in games?
I am more of a. What are you getting in return for that play? I don't think you just trade players just to get them off your roster and just say the hell with it, we're going to get rid of you. I think it makes sense to trade a player that has value so that you can get something of value back. And what value is what other people think of it. Somebody might value him higher than you do, and maybe they will give you something in return. But I don't think you just trade him just for the simple fact of, I'm over it, I don't need to see him play anymore.
Right.
It is what it is. If you were going to trade him, it should have been a couple of years ago. It's not now. So you're kind of stuck, in my opinion, with Nolan Gorman on the roster. He had a couple of hits yesterday. He went 2 for 3. He's starting again today. He's going to get an opportunity. Maybe he can figure out some things. The power has not been there, and that's the thing that everyone, if he's Kyle Schwarber Jr., we're good. If he strikes out 200-plus times, but he hits 30 bombs, we'll deal with it.
Right.
Well, he's not hitting bombs at all. He's got 1 on the year, and for whatever reason, something has shifted in his ability to drive the ball over the fence, and I don't think that his value is high enough for you to trade him at this point.
Well, he's got very little value now, and he'll have very little, even worse value in a year if things keep going the way they are. And so my brain goes in 2 directions on this one. One is, like Carey said, maybe try to find him more at-bats a little more regularly. You did it with Jordan Walker. You've given him, the ability to continue to try and develop and find his game. Now, I know Gorman has had some runway. He's had more runway than Jordan Walker has when it comes to getting opportunities at the big league level. He's thrived, and then he's failed. Both ends of the spectrum for him. So that's one direction to go, is you're like, okay, let's work with him. Let's figure it out because there's power there, and he doesn't have a lot of value now. But if that doesn't work, he has 0 value in a year. He's Dylan Carlson in a year, to where you got nothing for Dylan Carlson. Whereas, to your point, Carey, had they traded Dylan Carlson 2 years before.
Yeah.
But again, all of that's in hindsight. It's super easy to critique that now.
Yeah.
But Gorman, to me, if you're the Cardinals, like, you see what you got here, but I'd almost deal him and try to just get anything for him at this point. Unless there's something they're seeing that reassures them. But the numbers, like, as far as his game numbers, even the underlying metrics and all that stuff, shows no indication that he's turning a corner anytime soon. But maybe he is in batting practice. Maybe he is in the cages. Maybe he's making strides that we don't get to see on a daily basis, or ever, for that matter.
Yeah.
But the Cardinals know that. But I just think that a year from now, you'll either have a player in your lineup that can make a difference, or you'll have, I wouldn't even call it an asset. You'll have a liability that's worth nothing on the open market.
What if that liability is just a bench bat, though?
Why? You're already having trouble,
because you need then you just have to fill another bench bat, and maybe that bench bat won't have as much power and as much potential as a bench player.
Yeah,
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No, I get it. I just, I'd rather have a bench bat. I'd rather have Sajaci as a bench bat and Luken Baker as a bench bat. Like, I know what Sajaci's going to make contact. And Luken Baker does have the ability to touch seats. We've seen it.
Sure.
I know one's a lefty, one's a righty. It's
and I don't know if Luken Baker has as much, and in fact, I know he doesn't have as much positional value as Nolan Gorman. He can only play first, which you've got about 9 of them.
But
one of them is a catcher.
Luken Baker, it's DH or pinch hitter. That's it.
Right.
Like, that's all we're doing with him.
Right.
And that's kind of what you're going to be doing with Nolan Gorman right now, because, there are some injuries, get some playing time, where when there isn't, he's got no home.
Yeah, and that is why I think we can all agree that he's not a starter. He's not a starter. I just don't know. There seems to be this notion that if Nolan Gorman's not going to start, then get rid of him. Okay, well, what if you just have him as somebody that's a backup second baseman, a third baseman, and a power guy?
Sheer trade value. That's all I'm looking at.
But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he has.
If your bench bat idea is something they go with, it's not a bad idea.
Sure.
Okay, it's fine. But a year from now, if he's no good off the bench as a bench bat, like you've got a player that you don't know what the hell to do with because nobody wants him.
I don't know what his value is now.
That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm at.
It's got to be higher than a year from now if he fails.
True. But I don't know if it's even that high or that high now.
I don't think it's that much higher now than it would be if he. I mean, he's not performing great right now.
I mean, it changes if Jamie, if you're right, and they're like, man, you can get, I don't know, a power arm in AA.
Something.
That'd be different.
Something.
You know, but I don't understand, I guess, the rush to trade him now when you can just have him what he is now.
314 brings up an excellent point here. It says, typically I want my bench bat to come up in a situation where I need bat on the ball. Not even necessarily a home run, but bat on the ball. And Nolan Gorman is not that guy.
In some situations, you need that. In some situations, you need at least a power element off the bench.
Or a strikeout.
I think we're looking, but most power guys are. Most power guys are. Unless you're talking about Aaron Judge, but that's the unicorn. There are 26 roster spots. Each guy is going to bring something different to the table. I don't think we're in a, hey, he just needs to make contact. Okay. Pinch hitting is incredibly hard. Tell him, Wash. I would like some power element off of, and again, Nolan Gorman hasn't proven anything either. He hadn't been great, but I'm fine just leaving him on the bench for now and filling in for Arenado when he's got back spasms and spelling guys, on days off. It's a lot better than, no offense, Jose Fermin.
So he's had over 1,100 plate appearances. Nolan Gorman has
in his career. Last year he got a fair amount.
1,139 guys. It's not a sample size anymore.
If you think CD and I are like saying that Nolan Gorman is good,
I don't think you're saying that at all.
Okay.
I'm just talking to you guys because you're the guys in the room with me.
Oh,
so
that seems. That felt like an open-faced crap sandwich. I don't think he meant it that way.
I gotta talk to you because you're
I'm
here.
like, that's an open-faced crap sandwich.
No, I meant it to be.
I gotta talk to you because you're here, but I'd rather not.
I did.
Rather talk to my damn self.
I have no. What am I going to do? I mean, I know there's listeners. Hopefully, there's listeners out there, but they can't talk back to me. So I'm talking to you guys, and it's like, well, we're not saying that. No, I know that.
I do not sound like that.
You're right. You don't sound that good.
Don't you dare. I do not sound like that.
This is a boot to the throats of all Gormans.
Where did you take that up?
It's from Andor.
Oh.
How the heck?
There's a planet called Gorman.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
All right. Well
It's a good
played.
find. Yeah,
Very good find.
It didn't work out for him.
No, clearly.
I wouldn't think so. Clearly. There's a boot to all throats there. All right. Beat the streak. Bet the board is next. I think we all got wiped out, didn't we?
Yep.
Nope.
Except for Ben.
Oh, beat the streak.
Yeah. Beat the streak.
Carey picked Colorado to win last week.
How about that?
Hell of a pick, Carey.
That was a hell of a pick,
How do you
Carey.
do that?
We all thought you were crazy.
I would
For going with the biggest underdog on the MLB board
all year. It would be. It is crazy.
8 wins all year.
I don't know what I was doing.
Nice job there. But Marsh, your epic streak is over with.
It's over.
Nice job, though, man.
Thank you.
Nice job. 18? 19? Would you?
18
Wow,
is the number.
That's impressive.
That is a lot.
And you said 17 in the Gauntlet today.
19, the answer.
19 was the answer.
I should have said
18 was your
18.
streak.
Yep.
We had no other question, though.
No. It's true. That has
my
happened.
follow-up would have been, how many goals did he score?
Oh, good.
Oh, wow. That would have been...
Good thing you guys are thinking. I was like,
I
screwed if they said the same thing.
1, 2... I'll go with 3.
Oh, we don't know.
3
I
goals?
didn't check it.
Now I'm
I had
curious.
already Googled. I was going to give Deron Francis how many games did he play in this
Oh, wow. That's
look at you,
what was it,
Carey.
1,200?
1190.
What was it, 3,000?
1140. Something like that. Why not 3,000?
No, okay.
Not quite.
Extra 3,000.
I think he had 2 against Dallas, maybe 1 against Boston.
Well, he definitely had one against Boston.
Yeah.
Game 7.
Now I'm curious. I have to find this out.
Metro?
Yep, Alex. Yeah.
Let's see it.
Let's see here. I bet you Marsh is right. I got a good feeling about Marsh with these things.
Go to his hockey DB here.
What do you call
pretty
us?
quick. Let's see here.
4.
Yeah, 4 goals.
No, wait, sorry. No. No, my bad. Wrong column.
3.
3 is right.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
3 is the answer.
Wow.
Knowing Jim, though, he probably would have said 3.
And then we're really screwed. Then we need to go to the Ron Francis.
Yeah, we got to go to Ron Francis. Yep. All right. Beat the streak. Bet the board next on 101 ESPN.
I want to hit baseballs.
All of my successes depend on me.
You're ready to hit.
The hits just keep on coming.
And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
All right, time to play Beat the Streak here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. This is where we pick either a Cardinal player or their opponent to collect a hit. The longer the streak goes, you can set a record like Andrew Marsh did with 18 now. That's a fast lane record, 18. But he does not have the longest streak now. That belongs to our guy, Ben, who is now on the line with us. What's up, Ben?
Not much about you guys.
We're doing great, Ben. Thanks for asking, my man. Marsh, what is Ben's latest streak?
Ben has a streak of 5 right now,
job,
which
Ben.
ties Andy for the longest streak for a listener.
And the rest of us are bums, correct?
Yeah, we're all bums. We're at 0.
Okay.
Not great.
Well, Ben, lead us off. Ben, lead us off.
Let's go Burles then.
Alec Burleson. By the way, Brendan Donovan was scratched today. So the new lineup is Nootbaar, Wynn, Herrera, Contreras, Burleson, Arenado, Gorman, Walker, and Scott. All right, Marsh, I believe you're up.
So my streak would have been longer if I did not pick Key Brian Hayes and Bryce Harper at the beginning of the year. I only stuck with Cardinal players. And this time I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to try and start a streak with the opposing team. Give me Gunnar Henderson tonight. This guy.
All right, Carey.
Mason Wynn.
Jamie.
Jackson Holiday.
All right, give me Jordan Walker. Give me Jay Walk. Yeah. Who enters the lineup tonight. Ticked off, by the way. That he wasn't in the original lineup. All right, Ben, good luck with Alec Burleson. Hopefully get a chance to talk to you tomorrow.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Thanks, Ben. From Beat the Street, you bet the board. Things are real tight. The month of May. Marsh, latest standings, please.
All right. Jamie's in the lead with 10 points. Anthony, you and Carey are tied at 9, and I have 6.
Does everybody still have their parlay?
Yep. Yes.
Wow. Holding on to it, huh? All right, Jamie. You're up.
Give me the Edmonton Oilers at -1. Oh, it just changed.
Welcome to the club, buddy.
It was -145. It just went to -155.
That's what I'm saying.
But I owned it. I'm not like you scumbags. I didn't try to hide it. So let's just go then. I'm going to make it easy. We'll go with the Connor McDavid power play point. Please, 1 power play point. I'll find the odds on that in a second, but for time, it's never
plays.
minus big, you know.
Carey, go ahead.
No, thank you.
Plus 105.
Seeing as how I
What? Seeing as how you what?
I find it interesting. I texted in a pic, came in, I was like, oh yeah, I got my Kyle Tucker. He was like, oh, sorry to tell you, you actually picked the Rockies. Like, why in the hell would I pick a team?
You had a hunch, man.
Won 8 games.
That's what we said, too.
Yeah, it was weird. We're like, okay.
Yeah, right.
All right, we'll just give it to you.
Don't miss out. Give me Jaron Duran. I want to call him Jaron Duran. Duran. Jaron Duran, 1.5 hits, runs, RBI. -145. Over. Please and thank you.
Give me our St. Louis Cardinals -125 tonight to rebound in Baltimore. Cardinals -125.
Okay.
All right, I am looking at the game tonight between the Stars and the Oilers, and my money line says -148. I just refreshed it.
For what?
For the Edmonton Oilers money line.
I literally just refreshed it.
And I just refreshed mine.
What book you looking at?
Yeah,
I don't know what he looks at, you know?
Because I still have,
his odds.
I still have -155.
His odds are a little sketchy.
Sketchy's right.
Sketchy.
It's got to be a somewhat reputable book. Okay.
Sketchy. You know?
Is it a reputable one, Marshy?
It is.
Well, why would it be off by so much then?
I don't know.
I don't understand.
Something's not
I
right.
do have it. I do have one. Well, this is weird. They go all the way up to. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Look at mine right there, too. It says. And I just refreshed it.
Weird.
So I am going to go with.
Well, then my first one counts.
Marsh, go ahead.
Give me the Edmonton Oilers money line. And Leon Draisaitl 2+ points tonight. And Leon Draisaitl 4+ shots on goal. And the Oilers to have a team total of over 3.5 goals tonight. And Connor McDavid to play over 22 minutes and 45 seconds tonight.
Wow. All right.
As the Edmonton Oilers beat the Dallas Stars 5-4 in overtime, because give me the over tonight as well, which is 6.5.
Oh, wow.
So for those counting at home, what is how many legs do you have there?
I'm like 6.
We have 6 legs.
6 legs.
Which would put me at 12 points if it hits.
And he has been known to hit these.
We're not worried about that.
Well, it will be if he hits. All right, Marsh. You're locked in. Just send it to the group so we can follow along.
Yeah, to make sure all the odds are good on that one, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. May the odds ever be in your favor, Marsh. They only say that after you run into just a terrible situation.
You typically get picked for that, too.
Yeah.
You have no choice.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah. You just basically are.
Some people volunteer themselves.
Sure. It's true. As tribute.
Not everybody.
Yep.
And then when you win, you think you're alive for the rest of your life.
And then you got to go back.
You got to go back.
Yeah.
It's weird how that works.
Because apparently you're the face of a revolution.
Yeah.
Right.
And they trying to end that face.
They're trying to end that face. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff, guys. Really, really good stuff. Has the Cardinal Way returned? That's next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals take on the Baltimore Orioles here in about 5 minutes. Andre Palante is on the mound. Once again, first pitch at 5:35 against the Baltimore Orioles as the Cardinals look to get back in the win column. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Is the Cardinal Way back? Has the Cardinal Way returned? We'll discuss that next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, Andrew Marsh. Has the Cardinal Way returned? So this was heading into yesterday's game against the Baltimore Orioles. Xavier Scruggs, former Cardinal, said not enough people are talking about the Cardinals right now, you sick sons. No, he didn't add that part. He just said not enough people are talking about the Cardinals right now. They quietly won 16 of their last 20. Again, this was before yesterday. They're pitching, playing clean, getting timely hits, and Ollie Marmol deserves real credit for turning things around. Let's talk about it. And he said, incoming thread. He went on. His team looked like a mess early on. But in the last 3 weeks, 16-4 record, 2.78 team ERA, plus 47 run differential. A lot of Cardinal Way baseball, defense, details, execution. This looks like the identity they lost last year. And he continued, but we can kind of stop there since we posed the question, is the Cardinal Way returned? So, Jamie, Carey, Marshy Pants, has the Cardinal Way returned?
It feels like it's getting there. For me, I mean, it does. I mean, all season long, this team has played, I'll call it gritty baseball. They've done whatever it takes to win games. Not just me, but for I think a lot of people that have exceeded expectations. The defense first mentality, the rotation has been good. Say great. I'm not going to say great. Good, solid. So for me, it just feels different. Like whether it is the younger guys taking a bigger piece of the leadership role, which I think is happening just organically. Guys, even like younger, older guys like Brendan Donovan, he's got a big voice in that clubhouse. Wilson Contreras is a guy that is an older player but has the energy of a younger player. You can see this team starting to emulate the attitude of some of those guys. And Nolan Arenado, who has had himself a great season defensively, still battling offensively, but he hasn't looked his body language hasn't been the same as it has been the last couple of years, where you're looking at him going, that guy's miserable.
Yeah.
He looks like he's having some fun. And he's, in interviews, he's saying all the right things. So it's pretty tough to say has the Cardinal Way returned, because when you say that, people expect like a World Series contender. But it sure feels more like Cardinals baseball right now than it has for quite a while.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know. For me, the Cardinal Way is championships or, being in position to win championships.
Why would you do that?
I agreed with him.
Yeah, exactly.
Was I not supposed to?
No, you're fine.
Why? I thought his point was valid, and I wanted to give him praise for what he said.
No, you don't do that.
Nah, you give validation.
First time for everything.
Yeah. Hey, you're welcome.
Again. Open face. Here, Carey, take this.
He ate it.
I think that the Cardinal Way they are playing hard. They are doing a great job of, battling and staying in games, and the pitching has been pretty good thus far, with a few hiccups here and there. But overall, the pitching, I think, has been good. The bullpen has been much better. I think this team is better. I think that I just don't know. For me, like I said, the Cardinal Way, and like Jamie said, Cardinal Way for me is a team that you expect to be a championship contender. I don't know that they are there just yet. I think they're still a couple of years away from being a championship team. You still got a few pieces that you need to pick up the slack more consistently. If Nolan Arenado is going to be here, he's one. Jordan Walker needs to continue to do what he's done the last 7 or 8 games. Pick that up. Nolan Gorman, if you're here, you need to pick it up. So I think that there are pieces and there are things in place, but I don't know that I would say, yes, this is the Cardinal way just yet.
So Chester, and it's fitting after Carey just spoke that Chester chimes in.
You missed a great mic drop the other day, by the way.
Yeah.
From Chester?
Yeah.
Yes. I can play it for you at the end of the show.
Yeah, that'd be good. Chester says the Cardinal way from afar growing up was a franchise that didn't panic, had an ability to restock the cupboard quickly and played with class. They also stole bases, allegedly.
That was good times.
Tell about the base stealing.
That's the 80s ball for you.
Let me ask.
Shut your face.
I'm gonna ask a question here. Could the Cardinal way just be associated with winning?
Well, it is, but I think it's the way you do it.
It's championships.
I think when you're looking at a team that looks like they give a crap out there, that play with some emotion, play with some grit, and take pride in playing defensive baseball, when you're doing all those things, you're usually winning.
Exactly.
So,
what are you winning, though?
Indirectly, you're 100% right. It has a lot to do with winning, but I think it's the way they're doing it, too.
I want to add a question to that.
Outside of the Astros.
Okay, never mind.
Here, go ahead. I'm sorry, I was still going. I had quite another question.
You walked right past your demand.
Well, because I'm like, if he goes another way, I'm gonna have to wheel the bus around.
I might be, but I wanted to ask because you talk about the Cardinal way, and we talked about the Patriot way.
Yeah,
those are when you talk about the Patriot way. That was winning championships.
That was Tom Brady.
But it was winning championships. And I think the Cardinal way is also, in my opinion, winning championships. I don't know if that derailed your comment or I took it in a different path.
A little bit.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's fine.
No, go ahead.
Outside of the Astros, who cheated, is it just, doesn't all winning look the same?
Well, that's why it's championships.
So it's just defined by championships.
Okay, but so let's take a team like the Dodgers right now. That winning looks different.
Yeah, because they've loaded.
They've loaded up. That's what I mean.
So as long as
you have a
don't...
team full of Hall of Famers,
right?
I don't know if that's the Cardinal way. That's a lot of spending way.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So you got to win a championship, but you also can't be the Dirty Dodgers. Do it like the Dirty Dodgers.
Yeah, or some of those teams that just throw money at every problem that they have.
Or cheated like the Astros.
Correct.
Well, cheating is different than spending money.
Oh, not really, Carey.
It's not
I actually think the cheating was probably harder than what the Dodgers are doing. And I'm dead serious.
More people involved.
A lot more. They were banging trash cans.
TV on down the dugout.
Yeah. Like there was a lot going on.
They were working hard to figure it out.
Hard.
They did.
Somebody had to do it.
The Astros way.
There you go.
Yes. Xavier Scruggs continues again. This all came from these tweets. Ollie Marmol was under fire before the season even started. He deserves props for keeping the clubhouse together and raising the bar on the pitching side especially. It's not flashy. It's accountable. It's a great tweet by Xavier Scruggs. Any complaints there?
No, none.
Ivan Herrera might be the most under-the-radar catalyst in MLB right now. He's slashing .396, .466, and .542 since May 9th. 17-game on-base streak. Cardinals are 13-7 when he starts, averaging nearly 6 runs a game. That's eye-popping.
Yeah, having him in the lineup matters.
When he's in the lineup, they have averaged 6 runs a game.
Yeah.
Everything runs sharper when he's behind the plate.
I think maybe he just assumed that he's behind the plate because he's got the C next to his name.
Scruggsy might be off a little bit on that one.
He's definitely off on that one.
A little off on
Swing
that.
and a miss.
Yeah, he's not behind the plate.
Hey, you know what? You get 3 strikes. That was the first one.
You're assuming he's a catcher, and he's actually a DH. He's caught 2 games since he's come back from injury?
He did a heck of a job.
And the third one will be tonight.
Oh, he is catching tonight.
He's catching tonight.
Okay, we'll
also, Brendan Donovan is raking .425 over his last 10 games, 5 3+ hit games in that span, second in the National League in batting average behind only Freddie Freeman, glue guy who's turned into a bat you can't take out of the lineup. That's a solid single. That's a Brendan Donovan single right there for Xavier Scruggs. They open a series versus the Orioles tonight. Again, this was tweeted yesterday. St. Louis is rolling. Baltimore still trying to win 3 straight for the first time all year. Keep your eyes on this one. Yada, yada, yada. So good tweets there. One off comment, but other than that, good, solid tweets.
It's definitely not. Yeah.
Anthony, please keep sticking up for Marsh. This brother dynamic that the four of you have is awesome. I personally am a redheaded stepchild, so I'm just used to being whooped on and beat by everybody, which is ironic because out of the four of you, the only one who can't beat me is CD.
There was a lot more to that, too.
Yeah, he went on and on.
Chester is hilarious.
That's a good little battle.
It's not really a battle.
It's really not. No, it's not.
In order for a good rivalry, one side needs to win.
Yeah,
At some point.
It can't be it can't be what Ohio
smoked.
State and Michigan has turned into.
Yeah, I'm getting smoked. I've gotten smoked. It's okay. Still got my pride. You know?
Darn right you do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a win in itself.
Yeah.
All right. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. By the way, Chester says I'm waiting for round 3. Will you give him a third?
Hell yeah. I don't run from nothing. Beat the hell out of him, too.
Okay.
That's my plan.
That's what I intend to do.
Can I read this text real quick? I don't know if we got time.
Absolutely.
The Cardinal Way, this is from the 636. The Cardinal Way is about effort, emotional, and fundamentally sound baseball, not necessarily winning championships. I disagree. Because
there's got to be a separator, though, right?
If you don't win a championship, you're just guys.
Yeah.
Playing a game.
I always associated the Cardinal Way winning, like Jamie said, winning a certain way with class, and it's really about Tony La Russa's playing a hard 9, like resiliency, never out of a game, staying positive, taking at great at bats, fundamentals, all that. But that again is basically associated with winning baseball, or winning championships.
There you go.
CD, like the Steeler way. Yeah, there's a Steeler way.
That's definitely about championships.
There's an Eagles way.
That just started. You hate Nick Sirianni, though.
No, I don't. I apologize to
do.
Nick.
You said
I took ownership. I was a scumbag.
He wasn't hearing it.
He wasn't hearing it?
Well, because he didn't mean it.
I did mean it.
No.
You meant what you called him.
Yeah,
I agree.
That for sure.
I did mean it that day, absolutely.
You meant that.
I saw the error in my ways. Fly, Eagles, fly now. All right?
You rooting for the Eagles this year?
No. I root for a different bird team.
Oh.
They got 2 quarterbacks for now.
Good luck to those guys.
Until Steeler Nation gets involved.
Whatever.
You want them.
I don't, actually. I'll pass.
And why is that?
Because he couldn't get under center and hand the ball off on outside zone last year.
Right.
His leg was hurting.
He's better now.
Every time he's
got a bad shoulder.
In the pistol, you knew what play was coming. It was like 98%.
Yep.
That's a dumbass idea.
Thank you.
I don't blame him, though.
So what I said early on, which was the wrong move was the signing, not the draft pick.
No, I love the pick.
Yeah, the pick was awesome.
Yeah, great job.
What we learned, 3 stars of the day, criticisms and compliments, all next on 101 ESPN. you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. All the podcasts, of course, brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. Time to find out what everybody learned today, starting off with Carey Davis.
Yeah, I learned my teammates are steaming piles. You know, I thought I sent in a text on Friday prior to the end of the show saying who I wanted my bet the board to be. Found out today that not you, Jamie. These other two. Mm-hmm. Said, nah, he wants the Rockies. He texted it to me. Didn't see that in my thread, in my history. Nonetheless,
must have been one of those invisible messages.
Yeah, it disappeared. Spite has no place in this studio.
It's all over the place in this studio. It's on the walls.
Because of Spite.
It sure is.
I was able to win. A team that's won 9 games beat a team called the New York Yankees.
Total.
9 games total. Beat the Yankees outright. Mm-hmm. You all gave me the money line at plus 3,000.
Here's what I learned. As loyal listeners know, I won in April and I won in March for Bet the Board. I'm about to do something unprecedented, which is win 3 straight Bet the Board months. And what I've learned is that my 3 teammates continue to cheat. Marsh took a 5.5-point favorite on the money line. Carey sends in his picks whenever he wants. Jamie. Oh, Jamie.
I'd like to know what you got on me there, officer.
This guy. You know what? I don't think you've cheated this much.
No, I even called myself out today in my own detriment.
Today.
I called myself out.
After calling himself out.
Yeah.
And then taking another pick, was just in the break, trying to get the Edmonton Oilers again on the money line.
Marshy found a website with the right odds.
Did you?
No, and that's why I admitted to it. How about you?
You have cheated.
Yes.
I refreshed.
You have outright tried to cheat.
He tried to pick a game that was already over.
Well, I did try to do that.
Yeah, he did try to pick a game that was already over.
Yeah. That would have been a win.
I guess so. Yeah. I guess so.
Well, he did pick a game that had already started.
He did.
And the team was down by like 6 runs.
That was hilarious.
I didn't refresh that day, Marsh.
It was too late.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Jamie, what'd you learn?
I learned today that my teammates in here don't want me to talk to them.
I don't think. No.
The only people in the damn room that I can talk to. They don't want me to talk to them.
You just spun the hell out of that.
Yeah, you did.
Because what you said was, I'm talking to y'all because I don't have anybody else to talk to.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, because Anthony's like, Carey and I are. I go, I know, but when I say you're the only guys I can talk to, who the hell else am I supposed to talk to?
I don't think that's how that went.
I don't think so either.
I also learned another thing. Carey literally carries around a buffer machine to just continuously polish the hell out of his halo. That thing is so bright, so fraudulent.
That was amazing. All right, Marsh, what'd you learn today?
I learned that immaturity doesn't have an age limit.
Yeah, Carey.
This is true.
That is true.
Anthony.
Carey.
Jamie.
Damn it.
Marshy.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
All right, Marsh.
Yes.
Would you like to deliver some criticisms and or compliments?
Yes, we get a text from the 314. Great show today.
Thanks.
All right, thank you very much. Sorry, Anthony. Solo clapping over there.
Thank you.
The 314, in reference to my parlay for Bet the Board, says, I think you took it one too far with the overtime. Maybe I did.
Did you say it's got to go to OT?
Well, I said
over 6.5.
I didn't say it had to go to OT. That's not part of the parlay. That's just a prediction.
Prediction. Gotcha.
We got Connor McDavid.
Well, you said
22 minutes.
That's going to be a lot of ice time.
Yeah, he's really playing the whole damn game.
And if they go to overtime, maybe he hits that.
Maybe.
So maybe it's your over. And I gotcha.
That's what I'm banking on tonight, gentlemen. The 314 says, I'm becoming a believer CD, what about after the Dodgers sweep in a week?
Oh, the Dodgers sweep the Cardinals in a week?
Oh,
there it is.
Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah, that's exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I think he's talking about the Cardinals sweeping the Dodgers.
Well, it wasn't clear. You gotta be clear in what you're saying. You leave it up to us to read it.
Where
No
are
telling?
Hey, when it comes to the old Dodgers Cardinals,
I'm a Cardinal fan. Been a Cardinal fan.
No. Bobby Blue Glasses over here all off season long.
I'm a Cardinal fan.
when the Dodgers come to town, I believe it was you who said, yeah, I'll go to Busch Stadium. I'll be watching my Dodgers. I think that was you.
That's when the Cardinals were supposed to stink this year.
That's right.
They don't stink now.
Oh, wow. Hey, watch your ankles jumping on that bandwagon, okay,
no
Carey?
kidding.
I'm still. I mean, the Dodgers are. I mean, Shohei hit like 2 leadoff homers. He's balling. He's been balling.
Who will you be rooting for when the Dodgers come to St. Louis? Who will you be rooting
What's
for?
that?
Oh, so now you're not listening to me. That must be a trend now in this building.
So never mind the Cardinals' way anymore. It's just Carey's way.
Yeah.
All right, let's do our 3 stars of the day.
Yeah, please.
It's time for the Fast Lane's 3 Stars of the Day. Presented by Circus Sports Illinois. Sports betting the way it should be.
Our 3rd star of the day goes out to Gary Busey, who will star as Jamie Rivers in the upcoming film, The Life of Jamie Rivers.
Only in Croatia, though.
Yeah, I just don't see it. Like, it's funny.
Yeah.
Certain parts of my life, maybe,
Sure,
but not the full thing. You know?
Our 2nd star of the day goes out to
I want it to be
Paranoia.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
You can play me.
I think that's gonna work.
Paranoia?
Paranoia. Because
paranoid?
everybody in this room.
What do you mean? What are you talking about, me?
Everybody. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that.
Show me what you got there.
Well, if people didn't cheat, we wouldn't have to.
No, turn it back. Turn it back.
Mountains.
Turn it back.
If people didn't cheat, we wouldn't have to take a look at that.
Anthony?
Yeah. Marshy. Let's not forget Marsh started this.
On accident. That's all the world's problems probably start on accident, right?
The young innocent one tried to play the accident card.
Yeah.
No, it's an
They'll
accident.
never check this.
I'm just young Marshy.
He's a good guy in the group.
All right. 1st star of the day goes out to Jim for winning the Gauntlet.
Way to go, Jim.
Nice job.
Great finish.
Apparently, Jim's going to stop by tomorrow, take his picture, and grab his trophy.
And laugh at us on the way home.
Oh, yeah. I don't even think Jim will. I think Jim's a nice guy. He'll probably be like, this
He
is
did
so
some
great.
scumbag things this weekend.
Boy, I mean, dude.
Beat the hell out of us.
Somebody, I hope whoever's in his basement is released.
Well,
at
they
this
can
point.
now that he's won. They can go home.
For Andrew Marsh, for Carey Davis, for Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. See ya.